Isn't this a sports show?
Read it one more time. What is it?
Let me click on it so I can get the full thing.
Yeah, what's the product description?
Okay, here we go. Push Pops Bubble Fidget Sensory Toys. Oh, well, come on. Okay, here we go. Start over.
Yeah, one breath, please. One breath.
Almost entirely.
Push Pops Bubble Fidget Sensory Toys. Funny relief, stress, desktop game, soft squeeze toy, logical reasoning, training toys for adults, children, Among Us, Blue.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Here we go. Sweet'em Signatures, magnetic fingering, magnetic ring fidget spinner, toy upgraded hand spinner for stress relief, Christmas and birthday gift for kids, friends, and family.
Magnetic what?
Take the show with you by listening on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app at 810WHB.com or by searching for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
For $50, you can get a dinosaur electric train set with remote control, smoke, LED light, sound, dinosaur world playset, dinosaur track.
This is Almost Entirely Sports on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You ever have a moment where you realized you did a good thing, but you could have done it so much better, and so you kind of just have that metallic taste of a missed opportunity? That happened to me today. In fact, it was actually just about an hour and a half ago whenever this tweet came across my timeline from People. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are engaged and sealed union by drinking, quote, each other's blood. Now, I almost said girlfriend Renee. That would have been wrong. Fiance Renee is at work currently.
Is she really your fiance if you haven't drinking her blood, Josh?
She has 14 missed calls and 274 text messages from me that I am awaiting a response to, because I'm not sure if we are legally engaged or spiritually engaged.
I think you're at the very least allowed a do-over.
So I tweeted her also. Hasn't responded there yet either. Really starting to wonder where this woman's priorities are. And I asked if we could get a redo. Now look, is the ring beautiful? Yes. Were our pictures, did they turn out fantastic? Yes. Were many of our beloved friends there, not including Beards who left early and then Rudy who had other plans? Yes. Would I change anything about almost any of that whole experience? I truly would not. But if I could have gotten down onto one knee and then poured a little bit of my own blood into like a shot glass or something, I do feel like that would have been a more intimate experience. And the CDC has really loosened up lately, right? Like, I feel like...
It's not a problem at all.
I feel like the CDC would be like, hell yeah, man. Do what feels right. Yeah, then just don't be near anybody else for the rest of your life because you are technically a cannibal. Does that make you a cannibal?
No, cannibal involves flesh.
Does that make you a vampire?
That makes you a vampire, is what I was going to say.
Oh! Rudy and I continue
Vampires
to spend a
are
lot of
not
time
cannibals.
together.
Never been accused of cannibalism, old Dracula. You know why? He ain't about that flesh. That's why he's got the teeth that go right through the flesh. He's like, I don't want to taste this flesh.
I got a lot of Chiefs talk, a little bit of Chiefs Broncos leftovers, a little bit of Chiefs Steelers previewing that I'm genuinely really excited to get to today. Kent Swanson of KC Sports Network is going to join us in less than 20 minutes. Jordan Foote, not just of Arrowhead Report anymore, but of Sports Radio 810 WHB, is going to be in studio with us for the entire 8 o'clock hour. We have some good audio. I'm excited to do this show today. But first, at JB Brisco, poll question. Are vampires technically cannibals? Hashtag AES on 810. Your answers are simple. Just tell me yes or no. That is the poll question. Are vampires technically cannibals? Hashtag AES on 810. That is at JB Brisco on Twitter. Because I got to tell you, Rudy, it is a fascinating distinction that you are ready to make there.
Yeah.
But I think...
I've studied this. I know a thing or two about cannibalism.
This is the second time in 2 weeks that we talked about cannibalism on this show.
Is it?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because you called him John Wayne Glowstick or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
John Wayne Baby.
Now, that's actually a very small version of the famous Western actor, who I would watch. I would watch that spinoff of John Wayne Baby. Is he John Wayne Gacy? Is he Baby John Wayne? Who's to say?
It's like a Boss Baby, but with
Whoa!
with the buddy cop duo you never thought you'd need, and John Wayne as a baby.
Oh, bleep! It's
and
both
also,
of them.
It's both of them. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Pixar, TM.
Yeah,
You
this
can
is trademark.
Pay me for this idea as soon as you're ready for it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much good to go.
Disney Plus needs some more content.
Hollywood execs, get moving for John Wayne Baby, which is like it's a Boss Baby spinoff. It takes place in the canonical Boss Baby universe, but with Baby John Wayne and Baby John Wayne Gacy.
They work for Boss Baby.
Early 20. I mean, you're pretty confident that a vampire is not a cannibal, right?
Yeah, here's the thing.
I almost curse about how much I love this show sometimes.
Genuinely do not know like where I've heard any of this from, but I'm like 99.9% certain that it is like cannibalism has nothing to do with blood. It's the flesh. I am like, that is like a hill I'm willing to die on, and I'm not 100% sure how I know this, but I'll die on it.
I really respect just the pure.
I think there's a distinction there.
Just the pure energy you have around that distinction makes me really respect that you know more about it than I do. We are 20 votes in, just a quick 20 votes right out of the chute. Plenty of game left here, but 85% of people are saying yes.
So Ice Pyro makes a good comment. I assume he's talking about vampires. Vampires don't technically eat; they drink. And I feel like cannibalism has to involve eating, not drinking. Well, I guess if you drank like a liver, stew, that might still be cannibalism, but you get my point. Blood, no cannibalism. Flesh and organs, cannibalism.
Okay, now new poll question, and then we're going to talk about the Chiefs. It's just now poll, are Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly now technically cannibals? I'm not going to say now because that implies that they haven't been cannibals before.
I was going to say goals, but tomato.
No, it's blood.
I'm guessing you have not seen American Horror Story.
No, and I will not. It's too spooky.
These two are straight up doing American Horror Story Hotel, like
that
scene
makes
for
sense.
scene.
Sure.
The opening of that season, it's Lady Gaga and I forget the actor's name, basically seducing another couple, there and then soaking in their blood. That is basically what Megan I almost said Megan Kelly. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are doing here.
Wow, that is
it's a good show.
That is
big fan
powerful.
of the AHS.
Will you put that in your shot clock reviews? I know it's not like newsworthy, but I just would actually like to hear you talk more about it at some point.
Yeah.
Because it's very intriguing to me, but also I'm a little baby.
I've not seen the most recent season.
I'm a little boss
which
baby.
I believe is currently going on. But I've seen like the first 7 or 8 or wherever it is. I think the most recent one was 1984, which was like a spoof of like, your 1980s horror like thrasher films, right? Like Jason,
sure.
Nightmare on Elm
Your
Street.
slasher flicks.
Yeah, slasher flicks. That's the word I was wanting.
Speaking of grisly, bloody murders that will be televised for millions of people, let's talk about Chiefs Steelers.
Your wedding.
All 3 of those were good answers. All 3 of them. Chiefs Steelers, the Megan Fox Machine Gun Kelly wedding. To tell you the truth, Rudy, I wasn't even going to make the joke about my I guess now imminent wedding. There's no like date or anything, but I think that process is going to be grisly and bloody all the way leading up to it is my concern, and it'll be my blood everywhere.
I think we have a date for your wedding. It's just whenever Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox decide their wedding day. I mean, like it has to happen on the same day. I feel like.
Now this is a long time to wait, but when is April 20th, 2022?
Ooh, you
what day
should.
Of the week? It's a Thursday.
I was gonna say you should do
June,
February 22nd, 2022. Just get a nice 2.
Wow, that's pretty good. I like that. That's a lot of scrolling back.
Yeah.
Well, that would be. Now you do know that would be
got
in
a lot
month.
of work to get done.
Okay. You said 2022.
Good news is Chiefs season will be over.
That's true. Yeah, football's
Post
over.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right. Yep. We got sounds like 44 more missed calls headed Renee's way.
I mean, you could wait till 2066 and then do June 6th of 2066.
That might be the Megan Fox Machine Gun Kelly plan.
Nice little 6666.
June 9th, 2023 is a Friday. You have a Friday wedding.
It's not a bad day.
It's a nice day. It's the nicest, some would say.
Some would say.
Giving me a lot to think about. Also from BTM on Twitch, AES is the best and it's making quarantine so much better. Thank you guys for this show. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. This service that we've provided of these 10 minutes of content to kick off your Wednesday evening. And also, I hope you feel well.
I don't know if we could get around the DMCA, but I do think at the end of all of our intros should, right before you talk, should be the Veggie Tales. Oh boy, do we have a show for you. I don't know if we can work around that.
We can get that clip. Yeah, we should. Blomp, blomp,
because that was the first
blomp.
thing I thought of.
Yeah, that's great.
It was just Larry the Tomato going.
Whoa, it's Larry the Cucumber and Bob the Tomato.
Bob the Tomato going, do we have a show for you?
Veggie Tales, Veggie. Yeah, I love that.
That show is so good.
So good. How are we going to get these young kids to learn about the Bible? I don't know. What if we make it... What do kids hate? Salad? Yeah, they hate salad. What if we make salad characters? Bong rip. Yeah, Jerry, that's a great idea. Thanks, Bob. What should we name the main characters? I don't know, Jerry.
Such a good show.
So,
I mean, Larry Guy was a superhero who wore...
Larry Boy.
Larry Boy, wow.
Don't step to me in the fruit and vegetable section.
Hey, my bad. But he wore plungers on his head.
Yeah, he did.
So good.
He bleeping did. Larry Boy was another level, man.
We need Larry Boy in the MCU. That's the next thing to come in the MCU. Give me Larry Boy in the MCU.
I gotta.
At the very least, give me Easter eggs of just cucumbers and backgrounds of scenes, and one of them just happens to be dressed up.
Just a perfect a plunger with the red, a traditional red plunger, just sitting in a bathroom somewhere, and then a cucumber getting eaten in another scene. I don't care.
Yep.
It can be ghoulish.
I just need little Easter eggs, or just straight up Larry Boy.
It's gonna be hard to do the rest of this show when we know the best idea from it was done in the first 15 minutes.
This is the best we had.
It really was.
I can put it into ESPN Automation.
We might as well keep trying, but don't hold your breath for it to get better than that, folks. Which also could be another one of the many taglines of this show. Here's the thing: is we're in a weird spot here on Wednesday because Thursday and definitely Friday, and then here on this station, Saturday and Sunday really are all about leading up to Chiefs Steelers. It's playoff action. Usually your Mondays and even your Tuesdays are about the game before. But we're kind of here in this no man's land of Wednesday where you can kind of lean in either direction, but especially the last game of the regular season. Was there anything from the Broncos front that you should care about before we fully shift into this playoff mode here? And there were a couple of things from Chiefs Broncos that I thought were interesting that have stuck with me now that we should keep in mind as we have the conversations we're going to have for the remainder of this week. There were a couple of lessons that I thought could have been learned that weren't. The Chiefs are never going to go for it on 4th and 6th from midfield. They're going to punt there every time. It's gonna go out. It's gonna go into the end zone. It's gonna be a touchback. It's all gonna be for 25 yards of field position. You're gonna voluntarily take the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. Andy Reid has now made that call twice consecutively. Maybe I should stop asking for it. Our dear friend Matt Derrick had a stat about that. There was, I think it was ultimately one time in Andy Reid's career where he went for it in a spot like that. I think it was late fourth quarter and they didn't get it or something like that. There's that element of things, and also maybe I've just been burned by this too recently as a football watcher, but there was the first drive, and then also late in the game they actually connected where Drew Lock had Jerry Jeudy just in the bleep it, my receivers down there somewhere mode that you need one of those alien wideouts to go up and get. And Jerry Jeudy isn't Jamar Chase, but he is a very good wide receiver who, if the Broncos do land a quarterback, is going to be the guy that I'll buy in on in every fantasy league for a big year, because he's finally not catching passes from Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock or Case Keenum. Was he there? He was there last year, right? 2 years ago? Jerry, I feel like Case Keenum's been on every Broncos team of my lifetime.
Yeah, he's definitely been a Bronco. I'm not 100% sure if he's thrown to Jerry Jeudy, but definitely a Bronco.
If it's not literally Case Keenum, it's figuratively Case Keenum.
Trevor Siemian?
I think
Siemian was gone.
I
by
think
the time
you're
Jerry
right.
Jeudy was there.
But there's no way to know. And I'm not even saying there's a way to find it, because if you look closely into it enough, their names all blend together. They become Case Siemian or whatever, and we all move on. But Locke missed the first one of those, and then later in the game they connected. I am nitpicking on a couple of just like specific plays here, just because watching those, even in a game that I did not expect to be as close as it ultimately was, both of those for me brought occasion to be reminded by the fact that there is a weakness that you can exploit against almost any defense, but the Chiefs are certainly not immune to that, which is that our quarterback throws a well-placed ball up, outside, to a one-on-one matchup with an alien of a wide receiver going up against your merely extremely good human being playing defensive back. And the offense always, this is sort of a cliche, but the offense always has that advantage of they know where the play is going and you don't. But in a spot like that, we have seen it spark up in a way that has been damaging to the Chiefs a couple of times. The fact that it didn't land the first time wasn't that the play wasn't there, it's that Drew Lock missed him. There are some elements within that whole scope, along with one of the things that we talked about a little bit last week, and Kent was the guy that tweeted out one of the stats along these lines that I want to ask him about. But the Chiefs losing at the beginning of the year came against a bunch of really good teams for the most part, and teams that we expect them to have to go through again. The Ravens got really, really hurt. The Chargers were right there on the edge, obviously. But then the Bills and the Titans, like the Chiefs are going to have to be at least one of those two teams in all likelihood. I think there's technically a way that they wouldn't have to if the Patriots won twice, I guess. Going through the playoff picture in my head there. And then the Bengals, obviously, if it's not the Raiders advancing and it's not the Bills they would have to see, then the Bengals are right there among those teams as well. They've lost to these teams that they're going to have to see again. And the Broncos game felt a little more similar to how the Bengals game was going than to how the first round of the Steelers game went. Again, not even looking ahead to this upcoming Steelers game. We'll start doing that in literally 5 minutes. But the Broncos game did the thing that you hear good like lawyers talk about. You've got to have beyond a reasonable doubt. And the Broncos game, specifically following the loss of the Bengals, just has a little seed of doubt. You put a gun to my head and say, pick a team to come out of the AFC. I'll just say Chiefs. You say, who is the team in the AFC who you should be most fearful of, has the highest ceiling, should go the farthest, is the most dangerous, whatever. I would tell you the Chiefs. But I do not know that they have even the highest floor among these AFC teams, and maybe they still do, because if you were going to say, well, actually the Patriots have the highest floor, yeah, but if you're going to do the full graphs of like potential range of outcomes,
the floor is the ceiling for the Patriots.
It's just a line, yeah, it's just kind of a line there, and then 80% of the Chiefs' outcomes reside above that straight line that Rudy has sharpied on there for the Patriots. Like, I'm not even sure that most of those parts of the conversation are even useful ones to continue having at this point. But if you told me from you walked out of a time machine and you said, here's tomorrow's winning lottery numbers, I know you're going to want those, and also the Chiefs lost in the playoffs to the Bengals, Bills, or Titans, I'd go, that's too bad. Not you, filthy liar! Where are you really from? Are you with Tesla? I don't think this is why the playoffs though ultimately worked out really well for them. Talk your bleep about the Chargers if you want. I'm not gonna join you there because I do not think the Chiefs have a reasonable path to losing to the Steelers or Raiders in these playoffs. So the Patriots to a lessened extent than those other three. The fact that the Chiefs are in a spot where they might not have to play an actually good football team until the AFC Championship game is wild. And certainly a huge advantage for this weekend. Not as good as a bye week, but getting the Steelers on the rematch is pretty good news. We'll take a break and then spend a good chunk of the remainder of this show talking about what we've seen from the Chiefs through the regular season and then what we're looking for as the Steelers game comes up. There's nothing to look forward to, so we can't get ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that with Kent Swanson of the KC Sports Network whenever we come back.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show. You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
I've been a Chiefs fan now, and I've for my entire short life, and I haven't seen any quarterbacks that are out here ready to go rock a jeans commercial. I want Patrick Mahomes to have the ability to go absolutely crush a commercial selling denim. I want that for my quarterback.
With Joshua Brisco.
What are they going to do with his voice? It's Pat Mahomes with Lee Jeans here.
On ESPN Kansas City.
I don't even know that I would have caught it if Rudy wouldn't have just thrown his arms in the air. At least turn the music down, you absolute amateur. It's not ESPN Kansas City.
Just assume. I
think
keep
you've
making
played
this
that a
statement.
couple of times.
I think this is the second time I've done it. I'm 99% confident of that.
You are listening to Sports Radio 810 WHB Kansas City, the home of Almost Entirely Sports. What you now know, though, is that liner is so old that it was from when Almost Entirely Sports used to be exclusively over on ESPN Kansas City. Those days are in the rear view, but the days of I don't want to say definitively. Right now, that's not where we are. Is that better?
I mean, with my performance, you never know. There might be a demotion along the way.
Yeah, we could end up back in the radio
There's
Omaha at some point.
Soccer promotion relegation thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, did we win ESPN Kansas City and then get to come over here? Is that fair? Really think about it, because I think we did. I'm going to give us that.
Yeah. If being the only person competing still is a trophy. You still get a trophy for first place at the end of the day.
If the promotion relegation system is in place, you may as well take advantage of it. That, though, is the sign that, yes, that was from a past day. But what I was going to say...
that right now, because last time apparently I decided not to.
And again, we can spin this into a positive, Rudy. It's not just about your monumental mistake that could cost us billions in fines from the FCC. I don't think it could. But what I was going to say is that, while that's in our past, Kent Swanson is back in our present and, dare I say, back in our future. You can follow him on Twitter at Kent_Swanson and read all of his work across KC Sports Network. The Substack is at kcsn.substack.com. You can get all their stuff at kcsportsnetwork.com. But the Substack and the Twitter account are a good place to start. Kent, do you feel massively disrespected by the unprofessionalism shown by Rudy Salazar?
Yeah, I mean, ever since Beard's left, there's just been a gaping hole in this program, and every time Rudy calls me, I'm just, slightly disappointed it's not Beard. So, I mean, that was just, I was thinking about that little bumper or intro, whatever you call that. I don't know the radio term. I'm a podcaster. But,
sure.
That was back in, the Last Jedi era, Star Wars The Last Jedi. That was the same window that we were talking about porgs.
Yeah.
And that's just and that terrible Kermit the Frog impression turned Patrick Mahomes impression was it was simpler times, Josh.
Yeah. But better times simpler for sure, because we just didn't know what was ahead. But isn't that always the truth? Isn't the past always a simpler time? Think about that one. Really think about that.
Okay, you're getting way too existential for a Wednesday night.
Not for me, I'm not.
It's only Wednesday.
I know. I feel that, Rudy. I feel that.
Well, look, I mean, we've got less time to talk to you now because we had to spend so much of the time really shellacking over Rudy's mistake.
Gotta fix. Won't happen again until I find the next liner that hasn't been fixed.
Okay.
Rudy, it will happen again, buddy.
Yes. So
it will.
There is this folder full of liners titled AES on 810, and Beards did not change all of them to 810 liners. Some of them say ESPN Kansas City.
Really bold move of Rudy to speak ill of the dead.
Well,
I don't know. It's poor form, Rudy.
Well, see, this is actually my fault because I died for 3 years.
True.
Yeah.
Honestly, I will own this. This is partially on me because I had a fatal passing.
You can take all the blame. That's fine. I'll give it to you.
But look, we got you back with some science, some religion, some magic, some sexuality, man. I mean, it was a big witch's cauldron to get you reanimated.
Was that one of those sentences where you started it and didn't know where it was going to end?
Yes. You heard me up in the air with the ball in my hands and go, uh-oh, I got to shoot this, right?
Yep, and you took it way farther than I thought you would.
That feels like more of you misjudging who you're talking to.
You didn't hear the beginning of the show.
Yeah, oh, good. Yeah, no kidding.
I'm going to have to listen back, aren't I?
Yeah, I mean, if I ask you about it, it will become this whole segment, and I have theoretically promised people that I would ask you a couple of Chiefs questions. So you can grab the podcast and then text me if you want.
I'll do that. I actually might listen back for
It's
one.
just I'll just give you this is a tease now for the first segment for everybody if they missed it. We just talked about how Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly apparently got engaged and then drank each other's blood to fulfill the ceremony. And I saw
you tweeting about that.
Yeah.
I saw you tweeting about that today.
That's all.
Terrifying.
And I was just wondering if I missed out on an important memo that I didn't get. You know, I feel like I missed opportunity.
No, I love my wife dearly. I will never drink her blood ever.
Rudy, can you mark that one for the next liner? 'Cause I think that out of context would be awesome.
On ESPN Kansas City.
On ESPN Kansas City. Yeah, go ahead and really smudge the end of that one. We just did our best, Kent, to talk a little bit of football following all of that last segment, and I am ready to fully put the Broncos game away, like in just a second. But I am curious because, I mean, you tweeted about this, and we talked about it some last week of just like, for me, it's not even about the record, but like how the Chiefs have looked against their better opponents and against teams they're likely to see in the playoffs again. I wanted the Broncos game to assuage some of my fears and to wash out the taste of the Bengals game and all of that. Do you think that you learned anything from the Broncos game, or would you at least be willing to give like, oh, they didn't really solve anything in that game? Did that do anything for how you feel now going into the playoffs?
That Broncos game did absolutely nothing for me.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. It didn't make me feel any differently about this football team, good or bad. Just because, like, it didn't seem like they wanted to be there. It didn't seem like the Broncos wanted to be there. The only person that seemed like they might have wanted to be there was Drew Lock, trying to get that paper. But like, I don't think there was too much to take away because like this team is clearly kind of they were very much, playoff minded. They were very much kind of, seemed like they had one foot into the playoffs already. So I can't really glean anything. I mean, it's go time. We're going to see what's going to happen. There's definitely more questions about this team than I think any team we've seen in the last 4 years with the Patrick Mahomes era, and I don't really know if they're going to go away. It's a matter of them putting it all together.
Yeah, because where I'm at now, looking at the playoff field, and this is still wild that this is theoretically me being a downer, but if you told me that you were a time traveler from the future and that the Titans or Bills or Bengals beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, my reaction would not be one of like disbelief. It would be one of, I guess that makes sense. The crazy thing is that half of the playoffs I don't feel that way about even now, where the Patriots would surprise me a little bit and the Steelers and Raiders would stone cold stun me. So maybe that's just how far the Chiefs have climbed in terms of expectations. But whenever you look at how this playoff field ultimately shook out, which people could read your thoughts on at kcsn.substack.com right now, how did you feel about how that all shook out?
I mean, yeah. If you're not getting a bye, the closest thing is having to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, and like that's a great draw. Like the Chiefs are very blessed to be playing a team with. If you take Ben Roethlisberger's comments at face value, which I really don't, like he's already just like given them zero chance of winning. I think that's just some kind of stupid ploy. But I mean, you've got the teams. Like I think it's always going to be a handful of teams that can legitimately challenge this team in a real kind of game. And I mean, can the Bengals sneak up on them again? Sure. Can the Bills and the Titans beat them? I actually, you know what? It's tiered with the Titans and the Bengals are in the same tier for me, and the Bills can absolutely beat them. Everybody else is a throwaway. I mean, it's just a matter of which teams in which order they play, and you're hoping that you can avoid a couple. I'm hoping to avoid the Bills is really what it is. Yeah,
I would ride with you on that. I think they're the team that would give me the most concern. And I don't know. I feel like I have gone full circle on the Titans like 3 different times over the last 2 years, and so ask me about them in a week, and I might have a completely different opinion. I don't know. Maybe that's bad of me. But you sound like a man that has absolutely not a breath of concern anywhere in your body about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The only concern I have about the Pittsburgh Steelers is just pain from past Chiefs fanhood.
Right.
Like honestly, like the only thing is like there's always just this little monster around the corner with the Chiefs fan, and Patrick Mahomes has defeated that monster time and time again. But still, like there's just a little bit of you in the back of your head. You're worried that something stupid's going to happen because a lot of stupid has happened over the course of our lifetime.
Well, and on some level, a lot of stupid has happened this year, right? Like that. I think that's what I keep trying to dig in at, even for myself, is to figure out what I am still worried could come back to bite them and what likely won't. Like, do you have an example on one side of the differentiation and one on the other, or anything in that realm where you go, this worried me after week 6 and still does now, or this worried me in week 6 and doesn't anymore?
I mean, it's the offense. Like, I could see the Chiefs' offense. I could see the Chiefs' offense kind of, maybe not putting together a complete performance. I could see both sides of the football doing that, really, because, the defense, against good quarterback play is susceptible to some quarterbacks making some big-time throws. The Chiefs force, some throws outside the numbers that not every quarterback can hit, but some elite ones definitely can. So, like, there's that. But then offensively, like, this team has shown, they put some duds out there. And the formula has largely been playing too high structures and, sit too high, rotate into, man free, or sit in that too high shell and keep everything in front of you. And dumb things have happened at stretches of the season where, this team hasn't shown ability to put drives together and put them in the end zone. So, like, there's definitely cracks in the armor differently than we've ever seen in this team. And if they all happen at the same time, which they have before, then this team's going to have problems.
This is super meta, but what do you do in terms of, like, evaluating that? Because everything you just said I think is demonstrably true. I also don't know if there's a way for us to predict it or to actually take anything from it after it's happened. So what do we do with that? We've been dealing with it for a year now. Right.
I don't know. I don't know entirely. But I think the fear of all those things happening again is probably old Chiefs fans, kind of old Chief fan vibes for sure. Like, I think expecting all the bad things that happen at the same time. I think there's a sample size of this team taking care of things and improving week over week on some of these areas, like specifically on offense. You stop turning the ball over, and like that hasn't really come back to bite them. But you're going to say if this team's going to lose in the playoffs, it's going to be because of some stupid fumbles in plus territory, right? So, I mean, like they should have calloused us enough and created a new expectation, but like it's always going to be in the back of your mind, especially. I mean, every time McCole Hardman touches the football, everyone is always thinking the same thing: don't fumble, don't fumble, don't fumble. It's the only bad thing that can happen. When the ball's in his hand, he's running down the field. So, I think it's just like there's just something in the back of our head there. I think with all of this.
What about the particulars of the pass catchers? Because again, we've now got a full regular season, and I don't think that anything has become especially clear, at least not in terms of like a breakout player, grabbing a role by the throat or whatever. We've seen some ups and downs from everybody, but you've gotten a few impactful games from Byron Pringle. McCole Hardman ends up with his first 100-yard receiving game as a Chief in the last week of his third regular season, and he'd been close to 100 yards before. Maybe it's semantics, whatever, but he talked about it after the game like it was something that he had been kind of carrying with him. You get a couple Josh Gordon targets here and there that end up in pass breakups or drops or nothing. Like, whatever, not even necessarily for Chief Steelers, but as a look back at the regular season, what did we learn from the experiment amongst Chiefs receivers?
Do they need to stop experimenting next year? I mean, I think Byron Pringle's made some big strides largely, during the second half of the season. And, I thought he was trending in the right direction until they had some miscommunications between him and Mahomes last week. But I think there's been enough there to feel better about that. Hardman is what he is, and maybe they can get his speed involved with some of these bubbles and some of the, screen game a little bit better roster in the playoffs a little bit more consistently than they have. Who knows? We'll see. But, I mean, there's still a lot of questions there. And, like, I think that's part of your I think that's sitting in the back of your mind as a Chiefs fan, too, is, like, are we going to have enough consistency if teams are able to, take Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill away if Tyreek Hill is healthy for the next the next 4 games? Because that's not a guarantee. Same with Kelce. Like, there's questions there, and if the Chiefs lose one of those guys, obviously it's going to hurt, but the gap between wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 is massive and maybe bigger than about any team in the NFL.
Is there anything from the Steelers that would give you pause in terms of just how they might try to handle that? Again, I know we're talking about a team that we just watched, 3 weeks ago, but theoretically a healthier TJ Watt at least seems scarier.
Yeah, but, like, if you go back and watch that game, like, TJ Watt wasn't going to be a factor because Mahomes was doing such a fantastic job getting the ball out of his hands. And he was so decisive. And, like, we talk about, I mean, like, the best outcome you could get in a game where Travis Kelce didn't play and Tyreek Hill was essentially a non-factor for 57 minutes of that game was Mahomes just carving him up, getting the ball out of his hands decisively, a lot of guys stepping up and making some of these plays. And like, that was a big moment for all those guys, hopefully, that they can carry over, where they were leaned on a little bit more and they all kind of stepped up and rose to the occasion. But, like, yeah, I don't think TJ Watt's health is really, really a big deal as long as Mahomes is as decisive as he was this game.
Well, and like you said also, I mean, that was with virtually nothing from Tyreek Hill and literally nothing from Travis Kelce. Like, that ended up being kind of the COVID game going into it, and it didn't really matter because they won by 26, and now here we are again in the first round of the playoffs. Like, I just sell me anything on the Steelers. If I'm forcing you to say, all right, make me take this seriously. What is you know what? Let me ask it this way: what is Andy Reid saying to the Chiefs this week? And not what is Andy Reid saying to the Chiefs that we're allowed to hear at the podium, because that version of Andy Reid is the least truthful version of Andy Reid that exists. I want to know what's happening in the locker room this week.
I mean, there's probably an emphasis on just taking it 1 week at a time and just worrying about who's in front of you and taking care of business and putting in the work and letting it take care of itself, taking care of itself and all that stuff. Like that, I know that's coach speak, but like, this is a process that these teams actually adhere to. But it's boring. I don't think that they're going to go out and try to scare the Chiefs. Like, I don't think that's one of his tactics. That's more like a Belichickian tactic. But I do think that he's probably placing an emphasis on them just focusing and getting better. I don't think it's always coach. It's coach speak, but it's true. Every time Eric Bieniemy says it, there really is some legitimacy to that, even though it is, the most cliche stuff you've ever heard when him and Andy and Patrick Mahomes always say that kind of stuff. There's truth behind it. So they're gonna go through the process and commit to the process. And the process is going to be enough for them to bop the Steelers and probably cover the 12.5-point spread it is right now.
What do you think the score would be if Chad Henne started and finished the game? Like, there's just 0 snaps for Patrick Mahomes. He just gets a bye week.
If I told you I hadn't thought about that at least a little bit, I'd be lying. I mean,
what's the spread? 13.5?
No, the spread's probably Chiefs minus.
No, I mean right now. As currently.
The spread is 12.5.
12.5. Yeah. Okay.
Mahomes is worth at least 8 points.
Which is crazy, by the way, just in like the larger scheme of how point spreads work. You're totally right, but it's also nuts. So you think the Chiefs would cover with Chad Henne?
I think they would. I do. I mean, the Chiefs team won with Chad Henne against the Browns, and a better Browns team last year than this Steelers
That's
team.
true. Holy bleep, I forgot about that.
Right?
They did this already.
They did do this already. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, hopefully this team just goes out, puts their foot on the gas, and Chad Henne does get to just play the second half. That would be delightful.
So it was in the divisional round, obviously, because they had the bye. But oh, come on, I'm pulling it up here to get the exact date. It will be a year ago Monday, and not Sunday, but a year ago Monday. They beat the Browns 22-17. No, wait, this is Patrick Mahomes. What have I done? No, hold on. How much of this game was Chad Henne ultimately? Where did they?
I don't know.
It was just like the fourth quarter, right? It wasn't enough for my sample size.
No. Mahomes went out in the first half.
Did Chad Henne only throw 8 passes and a half and change?
He played I think Chad Henne played the majority of he played for sure 2 quarters and I think most of the third quarter.
I'll continue to research this for in a second because I'm fully.
You don't like this narrative anymore, do you?
I just thought it was going to be funny, and then I realized that there was that this had literally happened last year. But I want wire to wire Chad Henne. I think they'd be the Steelers. You said it already. The Browns that Browns team is better than the Steelers team, and I don't know that it's close.
Easily.
I wanted to actually touch on something that your KCSN and KC Lab podcast mate Matt Lane tweeted out earlier, where he was responding to a tweet about the Chiefs' backfield. And we don't know the exact health of these guys, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams were both limited participants in practice today. Derek Gore has found a little bit of a role. Jerick McKinnon had his best game as a Chief, which wasn't a ton of work, but did have a score and a couple of nice moves. If you get that full backfield together, what do you like that split looking like? And I'll follow up with what I thought was interesting from Matt.
Well, man, I don't know. That's very tricky. I still like Clyde the most of that group. So, I mean, I tend to lean giving Clyde the majority of those reps. Darrell Williams definitely deserves to get involved. I like Derek Gore, but I don't know, man. I still think you got to lean on your top guys. I still think Clyde and Darrell Williams provide more than a Derek Gore than a Jerick McKinnon do. I think they're less predictable with those guys on the field, too.
So Patrick Mahomes was hurt with 7:44 left in the third quarter.
Okay.
So Henne got a quarter and a half. A quarter and a half of Chad Henne.
No, 30 in the second quarter.
Third quarter.
Third quarter?
Third quarter.
Oh, okay. I thought it was way more than that.
Field goal drive, 7:44. Yeah. But that's a quarter and a half from Chad Henne. That's still Henne given day. Was this on a Sunday?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He took care of it. Yeah, he took care of it.
One of the things that Matt mentioned, I think we've talked about this at some point, but I think it's super interesting, and I need somebody better at explaining it than me to take it, so I'll have you do that. His take was whoever forces the Chiefs to run gap instead of wide zone. And he went and looked at some of these are smaller sample sizes, like McKinnon. But he said Derek Gore ran 47% gap. McKinnon's run 42%. Darrell's run 36%. Clyde has run 24% gap versus zone. I'm going to need you to re-explain that again because I trust you to do it a whole lot better than I will. But also, what are the Chiefs seeing differently? Maybe specifically around Clyde there because he seems like the outlier of that group.
Buddy. I don't know because I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire would absolutely thrive in a gap scheme, and he does get a much smaller sample size on that. And you want me to walk through?
Yeah, explain the difference for dummies. And by for dummies, I mean you're explaining it to a 5-year-old or an idiot or me, any of those.
Okay, so zone blocking is what you see the Chiefs run a lot of times. That wide zone he's talking about specifically is where every lineman is taking a zone step. They're taking, there's a various angle to that step based on if it's inside zone or outside zone. They're trying to, stretch the line of scrimmage. They're trying to kind of, how do I explain this? They're moving the line of scrimmage and they are moving the access points for the running back kind of laterally a lot of times with the wide zone. The gap scheme, okay, does that make sense?
Yes, I think that's
gap scheme. You're going to be making a lot of determinations up front based on where the defensive linemen are lined up. You are responsible for certain gaps and guys sitting in those gaps. And you are blocking men. You might be double teaming with, a center and a guard might be double teaming and then working up to a specific man or anybody entering a specific gap. It's more angle blocking. It's more vertical blocking up the field than it is kind of changing where the line of scrimmage and the access point for the running backs. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a lot of success with a lot of gap blocking, man blocking at LSU. I think this offensive line, and the reason Maddie is always so adamant about them running, is this offensive line is proven to be designed, or the skill sets of these guys seem to be more capable of running gap scheme than they are, running that outside zone stuff. And it's frustrating because, I mean, they're good at it. They are good at it. I mean, Derek Gore has had a lot of success when they've run gap stuff, and to his point, they've used a lot when he's in.
30-second version of this answer, I guess, but why is there not more of that? Why is that so lopsided? Let's say make a 15-second answer.
It's the greatest question ever because we've been wondering the entire year. And maybe there's some tendency breakers in the playoffs, and maybe they've been holding back a little bit. They've been showing it enough, and they're going to use it more in the playoffs. That's one speculation I have.
Quick, your favorite VeggieTale?
I don't know. The rumor weed's off the top of my head right now.
I was thinking about the rumor weed earlier. Rumor weed is excellent. Thank you, Kent. You can listen to why we got to VeggieTales in the first segment, because frankly, I can't remember.
From blood to VeggieTales, huh?
More or less.
Basically.
I mean, it's not worth any actual explanation. Follow him on Twitter at Kent_Swanson, KCSN.substack.com. Everything the KC Sports Network does, you can get Kent there. Oh, I thought that was the end. I thought that was the end of the. Sorry, now it's 10 seconds. You want to change your answer, or still go to rumor weed?
I haven't. Mad on Blueberry was pretty good too.
Thank you, Kent.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports.
have fun with Freddie and Fitzsimmons.
Aaron Rodgers could continue to play. He's got another 4 to 5 years left in him. Whatever the high level is, 20 interception guy, he's getting better.
More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Thursday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
Anyway, thanks again to Jordan Foote for joining us last segment. Sneeze emoji, sneeze emoji, sneeze emoji.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We're spending an hour with Jordan Foote, not just of Arrowhead Report anymore. Not just, it's not just anything. Not just his million projects that we mention every week. The arrowheadreport.com, Inside the Royals, both a part of the Sports Nation, or Sports, that's a different show, Sports Illustrated Fan Nation Network. Not just all of your mini basketball endeavors, including one that's got great merch and a great hoodie that I'm not wearing right now, but will soon because it fits my whole aesthetic. Rudy, can you confirm that this fits my whole aesthetic?
Yeah, no, is that like talking about like mentally crashing?
Both.
Like,
Both.
all
of the above.
Just had like 3 energy drinks crashing.
Yes. Well, I can't remember what your guys' Twitter handle is for crashing.
Crashing Hoops.
At Crashing Hoops.
Yeah.
If you want to find the actual content, it's Crashing the Boards.
Yes.
But at Crashing Hoops will get you there.
Yes.
I'm promoting that one now because Jordan's given me a hoodie that just says crashing on it in sort of a
Crashing on the couch.
a childish handwritten sort of font.
Yep.
I love it very much, and no one will ever question for a moment why I am wearing it.
Yeah.
Because to your point there, Rudy, it's up to the receiver of the content, not up to the artist. And whenever I'm wearing this, everyone will be able to look at me and say he is crashing in some form or another.
Yep.
They're not going to know that I'm crashing the boards.
I was going to say blood sugar, could be one of those things.
Certainly can.
We hope it's not, but
It could
No,
be.
I was just
Certainly
getting annoyed
possible.
at my blood sugar literally a second ago, which is annoying because it's perfect right now. But my thought process is, well, but it dropped a little bit, and if I don't have a Kit Kat now, I wonder if it'll be too low in a little while, and it's worse to be low than to be a little bit too high. This was my commercial break. But no, Jordan's not just all of those things. Just like it's not just my blood sugar, self-esteem, crashing. It's everything. Jordan Foote, at Footnoted on Twitter, is
my
now
emotions crashing.
the production value of this show, which is
Crashing.
not on ESPN Kansas City, but Sports Radio 810 WHB.
For now.
No, Jordan Foote is now a man of Union Broadcasting. Jordan Foote is now the title goes here of Sports Radio 810 WHB. Round of applause for Jordan. I didn't bring any party poppers. Or Jordan, clap for yourself so we can get 3 claps.
Okay,
You're not-
clap. I'll do a golf clap.
It just sounds so much more full.
Loud room we got here.
Yeah.
Jordan, welcome aboard the ship. That's a different show also.
That is on ESPN Kansas
That
City.
is, it's so I was going to say pirate ship, but that was a Lebetard show thing. So I said the ship, which is Darren's thing.
We have our own pirate ship. We're the pirates who don't do anything.
Yeah,
Just stay at home and lie around.
We should. There's
And of
got to
course,
be.
if you ask us to do anything, you know what we're going to tell you?
We don't do anything.
We don't do anything.
There's got to be like a dubstep remix of that somewhere. I
Has to
felt the
be.
beat as it was happening. Jordan, you're even in studio. We did a 5-minute bit before we let you talk.
And the one thing I was waiting to say was even in studio, I have a 5-minute wait to talk. And then you cut me off of that too. Every single time. You said you're going to keep like elongating it every time. I think last time it was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. This time we started at like 8:01-ish.
8:02.
Okay, so was it like 3.5 minutes this time? Did you fail?
Like right about 4 on the dot.
Yeah,
okay.
it was
About 4 on the
definitely
dot.
a little less than last time, but I will say I think what we missed in terms of length there, we earned in terms of go ahead and clip this in advance. What we failed to accomplish in terms of length, I think we more than made up for in terms of authenticity. Because I
Also,
forgot about that bit.
It's also more. It's easy to keep somebody on hold and not let them talk.
Yeah.
Like pushing somebody off to the side for 4 minutes in studio is like 15 minutes on phone.
That's really true. Well, Jordan, thank you for being in studio with us for this hour. I will ask you direct questions. I do think it's a compliment that all three of us have been sharing the same 4 brain cells this first 10 minutes of this hour, and I think that's a good thing for the show. But please, tell me how your first 3 days at Sports Radio 810 have gone in terms that you're comfortable with.
Man, it's been one heck of a 3 days.
Lebo's a real jerk.
Yeah, that Todd Lebo. I just don't know about him. Hopefully he's listening, so he hears this. Rudy?
First day that like we crossed paths, literally like maybe the first thing he said to me was, I hate that Todd Lebo guy.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do.
And then I said, I'm glad that Josh Brisco kid hasn't shown up yet. This is the first time I've seen Josh this week in 3 days. I was almost worried I wouldn't see you today, Josh.
Well, we've got all these great live sports here on Sports Radio 810.
I had to explain to him Josh doesn't work very much.
Yeah. Now I'm going to stick with the bit, man. You're not going to get me to break the bit because that struck a nerve. No, I'm not going to break it at all. I'm going to stay right here in character.
Working
in character. Obviously, Lebo is
It quite literally, I think,
the brightest star shining in this building. I don't
besides
know that.
just like the hey, how's it going? He was like, it might literally have been within the first minute. He's like, Lebo's a really nice guy. I was like, yeah, Lebo's kind of your go-to.
Yeah, Lebo lives up to the hype.
Lebo's the go-to around here in terms of like if you need something done, you need answers to something. Lebo generally knows. Like if he doesn't know it, he can get it to you like that.
Yeah,
Lebo's the guy.
I would say that everyone else, really, especially on this show, will subvert your expectations. Kind of, you know how the creators of Game of Thrones said they wanted to subvert expectations in the last season. That's kind of what we do. We're here to subvert up expectations and then have everybody else wonder if there could have been a rewrite. You know, I'm like, I don't know. Here we are. But Lebo's like the first 5 seasons.
That last season was a great commercial for Starbucks. Okay,
that's exactly right, and that's what it was all about. No, but tell me. I mean, you've been in the building before. We've had you in studio before, but your first 3 days here. I don't know. Put somebody on blast or compliment somebody or something. I don't know.
I know that we're all replaceable, but I don't have enough job security yet quite to put anybody on blast. So maybe next time we chat, I'll be able to. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's Rudy.
Me, Rudy, and Beards.
Somebody else.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Irreplaceable.
I'll tell you what Beards said, but after you talk some.
Okay. It's been fun, man, getting used to the building, and I found out we have a water cooler today. I wasn't aware of that. I couldn't find the break room for 3 days, and then once you got here, I kind of wandered around for a little bit since I couldn't get embarrassed by looking into anyone's office or them looking out at me.
Sure.
Found the water cooler, found the break room so I can, bring food instead of like having it perish at my desk all day or whatever.
And then have someone else eat it.
Yes, exactly. So Lebo brought up on Monday that he tries to police the fridge as best as possible. And by police, I took it as if it's there more than one day in a row, I'm going to eat it. Is that accurate?
No. He's got this new thing. It started maybe around December, I want to say. Like I feel like it was right before I started doing vacations. But our fridge for the longest time is generally not good. He has made it his mission to never let it get bad again.
Yeah.
Instead of cleaning it, 6 months go by, it's a disaster, needs to be cleaned. So basically, I think the rule of thumb is if he sees something in that fridge and 2 weeks has passed, he's throwing it away.
Yeah.
So if you don't want something thrown away, don't leave it in that fridge for 2 weeks, which honestly, totally reasonable.
Yes.
He did spend like a month trying to get me to take a full pumpkin pie that I didn't want to take.
I wonder what happened to that pie.
I did not want to take. I didn't take because I was like, I don't know whose pumpkin pie this is. 2,
Right.
It's like the middle of December. I don't know how long this pumpkin pie has been here for. Also, there's a lot of pumpkin pie.
Lots of good reasons to not take the pie. Hey, that's a pretty good reference. Also, there have been, I would say, I'm just going to say times where, not to name any names, but where Rudy has had an energy drink in the refrigerator.
Don't leave your energy drinks in the main refrigerator.
Yeah.
Leave them in the back. Leave them in the mini fridge back here.
You know what? I wouldn't even say where you leave them. I say, Jordan, you talk to us off air.
I leave them in the office at all times.
I actually did for a very long. You move one into the fridge at a time because if they're occasionally, so there's a little Coke branded mini fridge by the copier.
That's where I steal water from.
I don't think that's stealing. I think that is the fair game.
Okay.
Yes, That water is delivered
Take what you
to
need.
us.
Take a penny, leave a penny.
Yes, that is fair game for anybody.
Occasionally get some Coca-Cola products in there. Well,
Some
you know,
lemonade.
sometimes some lemonade. Yeah, that is fair game. And some people have that attitude towards all of life. You know,
yeah.
Where any refrigerator is a fridge for me if I believe it to be.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the details of it, but somebody at one point did send out an email several years ago about how they had a bottled soda in there and someone had opened it and drank a little bit and put it back.
Just put it back in the fridge.
Rudy, obviously I don't want you to say who did. Was there a culprit ever?
So
I don't think I have.
I don't think
who
we
it was.
ever proved who it was.
Okay.
Wait, it wasn't
I'm
Josh?
No,
Pretty
God,
sure
no.
we know who it was.
Okay.
but we definitely I'm confident.
I can't even remember whose it was originally.
Yes, I don't remember
that's
who put out the claims, but I'm pretty confident we know. We have a good suspect.
Okay.
Like, we feel good about our suspect.
I genuinely can't really remember. Okay, so he just said a name, but I thought that was the person who had it originally.
Oh, maybe
I don't know. We can talk about that later.
he was involved.
Maybe he said a woman's
were
name.
involved.
Rudy did say a man's name.
So what did Beard
I mean,
say?
name could have been a woman's name. Name goes both ways. We know women with this name.
Do you think if we just called him that he would tell us his side of the story? He probably would, right?
wouldn't answer.
Not tonight, but next time we need to ask this person what their side of that story was, because I can't remember. But man, it's a funny one. It really gets me. That is not who stole Rudy's. Stole is a harsh word. I would say they put the can back in the same room. It was just empty and in the recycling bin, you know? So it did the circle of life, you know? So that's something important to know. Yeah. Let's do this. Is there anything that we need to tell you to make sure? We'll talk about Chiefs with Jordan here momentarily. He hasn't forgotten all the Chiefs things he knows. But anything here that you're like, you know what, I've noticed this. You know, Josh and Rudy, some sage wisdom here. The wise old men that have at the bottom of the mountain. You know, anything we can help you as a Sherpa?
Not quite yet. I was going to share what the contents of my fridge at home include.
I would love to know what's in your fridge at home.
So I have a mini fridge in my room that has been plugged in using power for the past year. I finally filled it up. Now has KC Beer Co. products in there.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And then the fridge in the kitchen. I think literally right now, because I was going to go grocery shopping tonight until I gracefully got offered to come on AES on 810.
Real quick, I'll just be the translator. Jordan was going to go get groceries tonight until I was like, hey, man, will you stick around? He didn't know how to say no to me on his first week here.
So we probably have 3 Bud Lights and a 6-pack of Twisted Tea, and I kid you not, literally nothing else in the fridge.
You said that's a mini fridge.
No,
is that your only
the fridge in the
fridge?
kitchen has Bud Light, Twisted Tea, and then in the freezer there's like chicken tenders and like a couple pizzas, and I'm slowly dying, Josh, is what I'm trying to say.
This is all a young, scrapping man who is growing needs to nutrition themselves.
I have a brother who's 21, so when you get a 22-year-old and a 21-year-old living together who both are being like stingy with their money and don't want to go grocery shopping and hate grocery shopping, after it's time to go grocery shopping, this is what you get.
You're only 22?
I'll be 23 next Thursday.
This is a young man's
I
game.
want
We're
to
getting too
commit
old for this,
seppuku right now. I want to disembowel myself with the katana because as Jordan was explaining all of that, I had the thought of my refrigerator has a shelf for all of the things that I can still eat and drink with my diabetes.
I'm heading there probably. Josh, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, Bud Light, Twisted Tea, and KC Beer Co. products. The freezer probably has like Crown in there or something. Like there's a clear theme here.
Yeah,
and it's ironic because the Bud Light's probably been in there for like 3 months. Like I don't drink a lot at home, and it's there.
Your fridge and freezer contents would be the fridge and freezer contents of Beards if he was an alcoholic.
Yes,
and that
of Beards.
I've tried to get.
Do we know this?
I've tried to get Beards to drink on multiple occasions. He's hesitant.
Yeah, he's a Coke-aholic.
That's right. He loves Coke, but doesn't really drink alcohol.
His Coke.
Yeah. I had a time where I literally had a mini fridge in my room.
Loved his Coke. R.I.P.
I had a time where I had a mini fridge in my room. I lived in a house with a bunch of friends, and so we had the actual like fridge for food and everything. But I did initially stock up my entire mini fridge with only drinkable products, and I was probably 22 at the time, so they were mostly alcoholic drinkable products. I think that's what the mini fridge is there for, though. It's like. I don't think I ever was like, you know what, I'm so glad I had these 42 cans of, I wouldn't have even been White Claw. I'm not sure. It wasn't really that popular yet. What was I drinking,
Four
though?
Loko?
Not really. I never was a Four Loko.
I've never had
Boy,
one.
boy.
I went to Arizona State for a year, and I've never had a Four Loko.
I went to Arizona State.
I was
Here's
a
the
Sun
thing.
Devil for a year, and I've never had a Four Loko.
You
People
were
never
really a
believe
Sun
me.
Devil then.
People never
Tucker,
believe me.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you.
You
about
told Tucker.
Twice. He said Tucker, ... Tucker, here's the thing.
You called him Tucker twice.
I don't think so.
On
Yes,
ESPN Kansas
Jordan,
City.
here's the thing. If you had a Ford Loco, you wouldn't have had the real Ford Loco. Back in my day, when Ford Loco was just getting started, I think I was a sophomore when Ford Loco just became a thing.
Rudy I was as tall as I went to the knee high of a grasshopper back in my day.
Yeah, and he walks through like 12 feet of
I
snow to
walked
school,
uphill.
Yeah.
Ford Loco, feet of snow each way.
About 6 months into Ford Loco's existence, kids were dropping like flies on college campuses. They were dying of alcohol poisoning. So Ford Loco was made to change their formula.
Cancel culture got another one.
I remember a couple times drinking 2 Ford Locos.
8
And
Locos.
waking up underneath the fire escape of my house, not remembering the night before.
I haven't
because
lived.
2 of them would basically black you out.
Did you say a couple of times that happened?
Yeah, a couple times.
Was it on the fire escape multiple times?
Well, so it was.
I'm just genuinely
Yeah,
curious.
yeah.
Do you have the same blackout like strategy?
No. Woke up in multiple spots. One time in the
Okay.
front yard. That was. Yeah, there were some spots. Just
That's where you wake up at a house party in a movie.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a fraternity house.
Sure.
And so like we had a
We're
like a
gnome.
veranda, I guess, that you could walk up on, and then from there was a fire escape. So I was like on the veranda, but like literally when my eyes opened, I could see the fire escape because I was underneath it.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Never lost my water phone though. So
I didn't take
those
Rudy
nights were
as a-
successes.
I didn't take Rudy as a blackout
I
on
have
the fire
not
escape type
Done it
front
often,
yard.
but when I have, I wake up outside.
That's never happened to me. And again, I went to Arizona State for a year, and it never happened.
Yeah, I
I'm not
think
proud of it. It's just we didn't know what we were doing. Ford Loco was this new drink. We didn't understand that it was like one Ford Loco was the equivalent of like a bottle of tequila.
yeah, you were 16. Like
You were
what you're
learning.
supposed to know better?
Yeah.
I think I was like 20.
Same.
One,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I was
2,
20. I was
3,
like- I was like
4,
20.
5.
I was like 20.
Your age started with a 2,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, I never. Four Loko just I think was it had
It
been
tasted so bad.
really yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you can wake up in a veranda.
They tasted
Yeah.
fine, like the initial drink, but the aftertaste was, whew. It stuck with you for a while.
I've been offered many a Four Loko, and like I'm not the type of person where, oh hey, try this beer or whatever. Like if I'm gonna drink a beer, whether I like it or not, if you offer it to me, I'm drinking the whole damn thing. Like there was this chocolate Dunkel Porter type thing I had
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, and I was really excited to try it,
Yeah.
and it was very bad.
It was
And I
too
bought
much.
a 6-pack, and
Put it in the mini fridge, man. It lives there now.
well, literally, so I have 3 6-packs of KC Beer Co. stuff in my fridge. I can guarantee you, in
Rudy,
3
are they
months,
currently a sponsor? I got to find out if Jordan should dunk on this or say it's great.
They're not a sponsor at our station.
Swill.
I believe.
Unless they turn it around.
put the Dunkin' Dunkel. I don't
Yeah,
know.
dunk it right.
Right off the fire escape.
What are your 3? You have 3 types in your fridge currently,
Yes.
and they're not currently a sponsor. But if they'd like to be, we'd welcome them.
Yes. And I can guarantee you, in 3 months, I'll still have at least 1 beer in there.
And it'll be the chocolate one.
No, the chocolate
Oh.
one's long gone.
Oh, you did slam all of those.
I took it to someone else's house. I took it to
That's
the
smart.
family Christmas, and I said,
Smart.
"Oh, look what I brought!" And we all opened it and said, "This isn't so hot." And I said, "Well, give it to the next guest you have." And now I don't have to deal with it anymore.
That's the whole purpose of regifting, right there.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
I got carded at Hy-Vee that day on Christmas, the day after Christmas, because they thought I had a fake ID.
When was the last time you got carded, Rudy? If you had to guess.
No, actually not that long ago. Like I would say within the last like 3 or 4 months. It happens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens frequently enough still. Like I'm always a little like surprised when it happens, but like
A little flattered.
flattered. Yeah,
But
it's like, ooh,
but, like
cool.
once every
Okay.
3 months, I'm at. I think some of it depends on who I'm with. Like I have a friend who is a couple years younger than me, but he is very much younger looking.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel I'm thinking whenever we go out, I think I normally get carded. I'm guessing I'm getting carded though because he's getting carded. So it's just like
Yeah.
a group.
Yeah.
Everybody show your ID type of thing.
I don't look that young, do I? I feel like I look a little older than 22.
No, you do. I think you look older. I would.
Look like a child baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
A child baby.
Like a John Wayne baby.
Like a John Wayne baby.
Sometimes you
game.
got to listen to the full
Baby.
show to get all the jokes, and something I
Yeah.
don't apologize for anymore. In fact, to that exact point, I just remembered that I was going to read you something that Beards said in a dream that I translated through a Ouija. Don't think about it. Something Beard said. We can communicate through technology, even though he's a ghost. And this was on Monday at 9:49 a.m.
That's when I ran into Beards.
Yeah. He said, "Man, Jordan is tall." I responded. Rudy did not respond to this. I responded, looks like about 7 hours later. I said, "How much taller do you think he is than you?" He said, "I'd say he's probably about Rudy sized." I was hoping he would give a specific
Yes.
I
measure.
think at which point I did say, "Dear God."
You did. At that point, you did say, "Dear God."
Wow. Low hanging fruit, but
High hanging
necessary.
fruit to me and
Fair enough.
Beards.
Yeah.
Say about a foot tall.
Yeah.
About a foot taller than him, probably.
I'm glad I got brought up in the group chat, and the first thing was not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, from what you're willing to share, there could have been something at 9:48 that said, "Gosh, this guy sucks," but
That was Tuesday.
oh, okay. And then today's Wednesday. I saw Beards briefly today. We were talking about you, actually. Yeah, one of those conversations where like someone's walking into the bathroom, but like you both lock eyes and you're like, well, I need to acknowledge this person.
Yeah.
You start a conversation. You both know that like you both have stuff to do, but you don't know how to end it. Kind of like this right now. And and I kept trying to like take steps back away from Beard so he could move on with his day. And he kept like turning away, but then we'd like say something. It was fun.
What? I'm glad you guys had a fun time in the bathroom. That's
No.
so. Sorry, that's all I heard. What is your guys' move if you walk in? You walk into the bathroom. Let's say somebody is washing their hands.
Yeah.
You're walking in to use the bathroom. What's your move? Also in terms of various levels of how well you know them.
I have a story to tell with that.
Absolutely. We'll do Chiefs in the third segment of this hour. This is perfect. This is about getting to know Jordan, new member of Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The last 2 times I've been to Tanner's, and Tanner's is kind of my spot to meet up and watch sports and all that good stuff.
Okay.
You know the meme of it's like Madison Bumgarner at the urinal and then Joe Buck walks in and stands right. That's happened to me twice. Both times I've been there, the last 2 times, there have been like 18 open urinals in there, and someone's walked in and stood right next to me and just said, "Hey, how's it going?"
They started a conversation with you? Why did Beards do that?
That was at 810, not at Tanner's.
Oh.
So that was a separate conversation.
I was assuming that I was making the joke that Beards has been following you and
yes.
doing this at Tanner's also. But yeah, and this is a person, a total stranger to you.
Yes.
Approximately what time is this happening? Is there a chance this
Saturday?
person is really drunk?
Yes. Oh, it's
Okay.
a Saturday. They were for college football games. So
Okay.
Saturday, 100%. I wasn't.
Right.
And I was like, good, thanks. Like, I kind of just stared straight ahead. Like, I'm not going to, like, look at this person. I'm not going to, like, engage in a long-winded conversation. Then I just kind of left.
Yeah.
And I was like, see you later. Have a good one. Like, what was the initial thing? You lock eyes with somebody and something.
You walk, and I'm thinking about the 810
Oh, you walk
bathroom,
into the bathroom.
here.
Yeah.
There's one sink, they're washing their
Yes.
hands. There's one urinal, there's
Yeah.
one stall.
Yes.
If you walk in and you see someone there, and I think it depends on how well you know the person, probably, but your ideal situation. I think my ideal situation in that spot is probably My ideal situation is that no one is in there, right?
Yes.
So I guess the real truth is that ideally 2 ships passing in the night.
Yes.
You finish washing your hands, dry them off, whatever. I'll walk in and handle my business.
Yeah.
But if it's a person that you are seeing for the first time that day, a person that you know relatively well, if the first time I was seeing Rudy was I walked in, make a turn into the bathroom, he's washing his hands, I wouldn't ignore Rudy.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What's up, Rudy?
I would grab him by his hoodie and I would give him a brief swirl. That's what Lebo does. Lebo will stand just at the toilet and just wait to give
Have
you a
I not
swirly.
been hazed yet?
No, we don't haze here.
I think we find much more psychologically torturous ways to haze. There's
No.
definitely no like.
We don't haze here.
Did you have a bad hazing experience?
No, because we definitely don't haze here.
It's just that you're saying it in a way that I think that's true, but that
Yeah.
you are saying it in a very suspicious way.
Like he has been.
Saying it a very nonchalant, no legal, damage can come from this. We don't
Yeah,
haze at all.
that's a
kinda way.
good call, Rudy. We should have known that when me and Josh got in a.
We threw a bunch of
call.
ping pong balls at Beards' back really
I
hard.
didn't put it on TV.
We did do that.
It was on TV.
Didn't I, Josh? I came across the tweet the other day
Oh no!
where I said, if McCole Hardman had 1,100 receiving yards, I'd let you run me over with your car. Or no, I said hit me with your car.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Needless
No.
to say, I never really
Surprise.
sweated that. But
I wish
yeah.
you would have said that, like, if Darrell Williams gets 1,100 yards from scrimmage,
I let
'cause
Josh beat me over the head with a baseball bat.
with a
or something.
barrel.
Yeah, with a barrel.
Like it hit you
yeah.
with the barrel, like Donkey
Yeah.
Kong for Darrell the Barrel.
Yeah.
He didn't hit the 1,100 mark either, though. So
Speaking of Chiefs,
you're good. Oh, what a great segue. We need to take a break. More great Chiefs talk, just like that bit there. You guys, what's your ideal bathroom encounter situation there, Rudy?
I mean, nobody in there, but I guess
Right, that's the number 1 seed clearly.
I rarely will say like I'm the one who initiates the contact. If you initiate, you say hello to me, I'll say hello back. If it's a situation where like, I know the person well, maybe I'm washing my hands, they're using the bathroom, I feel obligated to say something.
Right.
I will wait though until they're actually finished using
yeah,
the bathroom
Yeah.
part of the bathroom, right? Like it's kind of there's almost a sense of like you're in your time now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you be. Then once we've both stepped away, then it's just like, hey, how's it going? Yada yada yada.
It's a
Unless
sacred
it's like
space.
I would say
you
like
know?
you, if it's you or Lebo, it's generally different.
Yeah.
And then if it's Shane will always say something to me. So like,
So when I was at my previous employer, on the first day of work,
They used to have a sign back there. I just looked over my shoulder to see if it was still the Jordan's previous employer studios. I think it is, but there's not a sign there, so I'm not gonna say it.
needless to say, anyway, before I was interrupted,
So rudely.
I ran into the CEO.
Jordan, feel free to go ahead and take your time. Go ahead.
I ran into the COO on the first day, and I tried to
Of your
shake
old company.
in the bathroom, and I tried to shake his hand because I wanted to like leave a good first impression, but you just don't do that in the
that's
bathroom.
why it's his old company now.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Rudy and I really do spend a lot of time together.
Too much.
I thought you left that company, under good terms. I didn't
Well,
know. I didn't know that you'd been escorted out on day one.
Honesty is the best policy.
No.
I don't think that's true. I think we've got lots of examples where lying really came through clutch.
Yeah. I would say most of the time. Occasionally, telling the truth to help you out. Cream hunt.
Would have helped.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But
that's a good Chiefs example.
I would say that's like 1 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times lie. Kids, if you're listening,
I need to get
lie.
better at that.
Yeah, get better at lying.
I need to get a lot better.
I'm so
at that.
good at lying.
Yeah, did you hear him talk about how there was no hazing involved?
Yeah.
Rudy is a class A liar. He's really
So
great
good.
at it.
I'd say class S.
So humble also. Class
Humblest.
S. Is that because you're an S tier liar or because
Yes.
it's S short for a profane word?
No, it's S tier.
S tier.
Yeah.
You're an S tier liar. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to be able to talk to Jordan about the Chiefs with him here in person. I think it's going to put up a really weird vibe, and I guess we can try to feel that out whenever we come back with Jordan Foote of a whole bunch of places, including this very radio station. You can follow him on Twitter at Footnoted, Footeenoted, and get all the things that he does. But all the most important things are going to be coming from within this building now. Was that a lie? Who's to say? And also, we now know if you see him in the bathroom in public, don't talk to him. He will ice you. Do not speak to Jordan in a public bathroom unless you have a Four Loko for him, in which case, give it a shot.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports. This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco
Almost Entirely Sports is a technical difficulty.
That's fair.
on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I thought that was going to be an ESPN Kansas City liner there because I knew it was an oldie.
I knew it wasn't an ESPN KC one just because it is, by the date modified, it is a very high on the list. So I knew that one is good.
Playing it
But
fast
yes,
and loose.
When I know that one's good because I've used it enough
Yeah, that
times, I've
makes
heard
sense.
enough times. But anytime there's a liner and I hear Charlie's voice, R.I.P.,
Yeah, it's the
I
bubonic
get,
plague got
I
him.
get a little nervous.
Remember whenever he canonically died of the bubonic plague and then like 3 years later a literal plague hit the world?
Because of
Patient zero.
Beards McFly. R.I.P.
Wow, we might be able to bring the whole pandemic back to Charlie and Beards just
Yeah.
separated by a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to go down that rabbit trail. Either one. No rabbits involved for this segment because I actually want to talk to our own Jordan Foote about the Kansas City Chiefs. If you can work up a rabbit metaphor at some point, I'll allow it.
I was
Bugs
trying
Bunny.
Oop, I'll let you go, Jordan.
Bugs Bunny energy. The meme of him with the cash. Josh knows what I'm talking about.
Now, Rudy, you do yours?
No, I didn't have one. I was trying to come up with something, but I didn't have one.
It's either that or Gangster SpongeBob. You know, the
got
scary.
You guys have got to see the gangster
Bugs Bunny
SpongeBob.
took all my my secret juice, so I don't got it in me.
I think I sent the.
Took me right to realize that wasn't a G Fuel thing. I was like, what is Bugs Bunny doing?
I almost bought the peach iced tea one when you were talking about it, and then I was gonna like surprise all of us with it. Wow. I still might do that, but now it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah.
I also
I've already
realized
forgotten.
I forget things a lot.
it's a lot of money to spend when you don't have it. So
He has diabetes brain. I have sleepy brain.
yeah, and I just don't have brain.
Now, there's a video called
Gangster
Gangster
SpongeBob.
Yeah, and it got sketchy quickly, but
No,
the
just-
images are funny if you just Google. if you
Google
just-
image like money SpongeBob.
Oh, I've got.
picture.
I've got
okay,
it.
okay.
This one
Yeah,
is
yeah.
too cleaned up. I need the grimier version with a lot of pixels.
I had one of those as that one was my profile picture on Facebook for like.
Is that where that started?
No, I didn't start it.
No, but I mean, is that? Oh, I
where
forgot
the
that was
trauma
here.
started. And yes. And I sent that to Josh and said, "You probably won't believe this, but you actually might." I had that as my profile picture, and Josh said, "I feel like all of those kids have like serious problems now,
Yeah,
or are incarcerated or something."
yeah.
not
I think.
good."
I think that if Rudy's pointing at himself. I will say this. I think that if
I
you're
wasn't pointing at myself, just the general vicinity. I'll tell you in the break.
okay, cool. I love finding out the little Easter eggs that I get to
Yes.
learn during commercial breaks because my brain stopped working for long enough to not know what Rudy is gesticulating at. Talkback button didn't work there, Rudy, so I didn't even hear what you said that time. Didn't even hear. Don't even worry about it. Save it for 7 minutes. We'll talk about it then. Just
I
don't.
feel like it's a hint.
I don't think so. Let's talk about the Chiefs just to prove that we can. Just to prove to ourselves and to everyone else. I'm done talking about the Broncos game. We got rid of that in the first hour. It is now playoff mode, and we should feel how right now about the fact that the Chiefs are going in their first matchup of these playoffs against a team that they throttled a few weeks ago.
Fine, man. Everybody should feel fine. It's fine. They're fine. And if it's not fine, then it's fine. The Chiefs are a team that if they have a disappointing exit this year, boo-hoo, they're going to have the best quarterback in football and one heck of a roster heading into 2022 season. Like, I get the whole you have to capitalize on the Mahomes contract before you can't. You have to, not take any year for granted, all that good stuff. If the Chiefs do collapse and lose to the Steelers, which I think the probability is very, very low of that happening, they're going to be back next year. They're probably going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to be in Super Bowl talks. And I guess that's easy for us to say. We're not like the emotionally super attached, like diehard people that are out there. But it's fine. The Steelers are not a very good team. I don't even want to say I respect Big Ben's reverse psychology. And then Andy Reid possibly doing it right back. I think one of those was just a typical Andy Reid answer. One of those I think was intentional reverse psychology on the part of Ben Roethlisberger. They have a chance, man. The Chiefs have had games this year where they don't show up. they show up late. Either of those happening against Pittsburgh, I think showing up late won't doom them because Pittsburgh doesn't have that Chargers offense, Bengals offense, Ravens offense, Titans offense. They're on the very low spectrum of that kind of AFC offensive spear, I guess, in the playoff group. They're probably the worst, I'd say, offensively. Defensively, TJ Watt, he's really good. They're number one in sacks. I think it was Verderam who tweeted they're 15th in pressure rate or something like that, or quarterback hits, whatever it was. They don't have the Blitzburg 85 Bears, Golden Age Steelers type defense that a lot of people act like they do. The Chiefs match up well with them, obviously, but Patrick Mahomes said it himself on Wednesday. If you don't show up, you're going to go home. And I think there's a non-zero chance the Chiefs don't show up and that they do go home. But if I was a Chiefs betting man, I'd feel pretty good about their chances heading into Sunday night.
The super big picture place you started is interesting, and it reminded me of a stat that I heard, I think earlier today, that I've just tried to check again here, just because it's absolutely bonkers as a illustration of how the NFL is built. There are, you know what? I'll let you guys actually guess, unless you've already heard this stat. How many teams have a playoff appearance drought of more than 5 years?
That are current? A
current playoff drought.
I almost asked currently in the playoffs, which wouldn't make it a
which
current
would be
playoff
no
drought.
longer current. Yes.
So
as of right now, how many teams have gone more than 5 years without a playoff appearance?
41.
Only 32 teams in the league. I appreciate Rudy being very good.
I'm going to go through every NFL team quickly. AFC North
Don't
has
do
0.
that.
AFC South has
Go ahead
1.
Okay.
AFC East has 2.
Jordan might
I'm
just
going
get
to
it
go 3.
right.
I'm going to go 8.
2.
What?
Nailed it.
The Jets and who else?
The Broncos.
Oh, duh.
How about
Broncos
that?
have been bad since Peyton Manning left.
Their last appearance was Super Bowl 50. They've not been back since then. And the Jets haven't been back since the 2010 AFC Championship game, which is also nuts.
And some of those other bad teams have had, the Jags are a bad football team, but they had the
Blake
AFC,
Bortles.
Blake Bortles.
Exactly.
When did the Dolphins make it?
2016, the Dolphins, Giants, and Lions were all in the wild card round.
Okay.
Those are all at 5 now.
Yeah.
But the other crazy thing is, so let me just give you, here are all the teams who it's been more than 3 years for. Okay, 3 years is not very long.
Yeah.
More than 3-year droughts: Jaguars, Falcons, Panthers, Lions, Giants, Dolphins, Broncos, Jets. That is it. Everyone else has been in the playoffs within the last 3 years. I thought that was super interesting because of Washington was there last year and almost made some noise. We all remember the last time the Jags were there because Blake Bortles almost ended the Patriots. So close.
The boat, man. Never forget the boat.
I'm glad that we're beyond that time of pretending that he was actually good, but still,
we're not pretending. He's the boat.
That's what I meant.
Some of us are done pretending.
Yeah, I'm still in denial about the whole thing, but that shouldn't stop you from living your truth, Rudy. It's such an interesting snippet of how the NFL moves. And also, I think on another level, how hard it is to be consistently at the very top to that point.
Also,
the Steelers were there not that long ago.
Kind of how easy it can be to go from the bottom to the top.
Definitely.
There was a stat, I don't know if it's still the case, where basically every year a team went from worst to first in division.
Yeah. Right.
And because so frequently it just comes down to most NFL rosters, 90% of them are about the same as far as talent goes.
Yeah.
It's just it's not always whether or not you have a quarterback, but very frequently it's whether or not you have a quarterback, or at the very least get a good quarterback play, right? The Jaguars got Blake Bortles to play well for a year.
Right.
So a lot of times that's what it just simply comes down to.
Well,
it's just such a good league in that regard.
And another wild card team now. That 7th team, it's going to keep being the case, I think. Teams are... And I have no data to support this, which is a great take, obviously. It seems
You're radio now, baby. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Just let it fly.
It seems like patience is running a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Teams might be more willing to get off of their quote-unquote guy at quarterback or head coach quicker, which in turn gives them a better shot of turning it around or completely failing again. But it seems like this is something that's only going to accelerate, and like teams are going to rapidly rebuild and retool.
Yeah.
Which a team like the Chiefs that's not going to have to rebuild and rather retool during that decade time frame, they should be a perennial or close to playoff team.
Because one of those positions will never change. For the hardest part to find, they're just going to
Yes.
have to shuffle around the pieces around them.
Yeah, we've absolutely, and I don't know if it's because of just having more. I honestly, I wonder if it doesn't have something to do with like soccer becoming a more prevalent thing in America, where it's not uncommon at all. Like I'm an Everton fan. I've watched Everton have like 6 managers in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's not that crazy.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
we are starting to see more of that in just American sports, where especially at the college ranks.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like where it started, at least over here. Of guys are getting, if you have 2 years to show any sort of sign of you are building something, and it is very rarely. I mean, Joe Judge is honestly the only example of a guy who was given a 3rd year, even though he was clearly showing that they were regressing, and then he was like, "Hey, hold my beer,"
Right.
And then he still found a way to get himself fired.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare that if you don't show a clear path towards building something, and even then, because I would argue Brian Flores might have been showing that,
Yep.
and he got fired in 2 years.
Yep.
Like Dan Campbell this year, he made a lot of bad in-game decisions and fumbled the bag several times, but they were competitive. The culture is great. Like the Lions have something good brewing. The drafts have been good. And like you said, Josh, the Chiefs have the most important thing figured out. They have a first-round running back to help them
Yep.
sustain
And
success.
More than the two things the Steelers and the Chiefs have in common right now is they have stable head coaches who have been doing this for a long time, and they both spent first-round draft picks on running backs, and that's why they're both in the playoffs. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, Jordan. Please explain to me in detail how important that is for the Chiefs, because I know you believe it.
And one of them averages 3.9 yards per carry. Can you believe that? I love Najee Harris. He's a good player. The offensive line sucks.
He's not their best running
He's
back,
averaging
though.
3.9 yards per carry.
It is an unfair place to ask him to succeed. He's probably averaging 1.9 yards per depth of target.
Yes.
If I had to guess.
It's bad.
Honestly, the problem with Pittsburgh is their best running back is just sitting on the bench.
Who's that?
Benny Snell.
I was going to say, is it Benny Snell? Was he a Kentucky guy?
He sure was.
I
He
wonder why
was.
Rudy is a big fan.
I'm a big Benny Snell
of
guy.
Benny
Benny
Snell.
Snell is one of my just one of the best college football players who I ever got to watch. Obviously, play at Kentucky. I love Benny Snell.
That's
And he's got a big
that
old
checks
tattoo
out.
across the stomach that says
of
Snell,
what,
yeah.
Brady? Oh,
No, it just
Snell,
says Snell, yeah. And also, he was the first football player I saw that had like a mouthpiece that had like a propeller. So whenever he
that's pretty
breathed,
good.
and his comment was like, "Why do you have this?" Because I like the way I like the sound it makes when I run past people. I'm like, "There's my guy."
Rudy knows quite a bit about Benny Snell.
Rudy knows everything about any Kentucky player. Let's see if we can show this. We're doing this magic trick without a safety net here.
Boy.
Uh-oh.
But just pick a name of a not too prominent but not nobody NFL player. Somebody that you might draft in fantasy but not in the first few rounds. Just a guy. Just name a guy.
It shouldn't take me this long to
Yeah,
just
it's tough. I
name
was
a
trying to
guy.
think of who I would name, and I don't
Tony
know.
Pollard.
Tony Pollard. Oh, Oklahoma?
I don't know. Let's find out together.
Is he? No. Who's Tony Pollard?
Backup Cowboys running
The
back.
best running back on the
backup-
Cowboys.
Sorry, I was thinking of the safety Tony Jefferson.
If he was at OU, you can save it. Where did Tony Pollard play?
I actually don't know that.
Memphis.
Really?
Okay.
Go again. Give us another one. Make it
Jefferson did play at OU, though. I'm confident of this.
pretty good. Then give me one more, Jordan.
Does it have to be a football player?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty good with
it should be a
basketball.
football player.
I mean, I'm pretty good with
I
basketball.
was gonna
too.
say like John Wall or something like that. But
Oh,
That-
John Wall.
Where did John Wall
Obviously-
go?
I don't know.
I-
man.
yeah, I wonder.
Hard knock.
Lynn Bowden. Where did he go to college?
Wow.
Went to Youngstown High School.
Okay. Wow. If is that true? That's probably
I know he's
true.
from Youngstown. Just assuming.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
USC.
That was
That's an easy one.
He's too young. We need like a wily veteran. Where did Golden Tate play football? Rudy?
Golden Tate, that was Notre Dame.
I thought I was gonna stump him, and
No, that's my wheelhouse. Like when I
didn't.
really watch college.
Yeah,
football.
you're
where did Andrew Whitworth play college football?
Oh, this is a good
I read a good
one.
article on him today. He's 40 years old. He doesn't take painkillers.
Was he a big? No, I don't think he was a Big Ten guy.
He doesn't do ice baths. He doesn't take
Maybe he is a
painkillers.
Big Ten guy then.
He just takes care of himself. He stays in game shape all year round.
Oh goodness!
I'm
I feel
like,
I
dude.
know this.
40-year-old offensive lineman.
Georgia.
Oh, you got close.
Oh,
Georgia. Am I really that close?
yeah,
Is
you're
it,
really
like,
close.
State of Georgia close?
No,
Okay.
LSU.
close enough.
That's schematically very close to
Yeah.
me. You got a
That
big
hurt.
you got a big SEC.
Well, and it was like
powerhouse.
20 years ago. Rudy was like 30, 20 years ago.
Calvin Johnson,
Georgia Tech.
Oof.
Michael Crabtree,
Texas Tech.
Michael Gallup.
Oof.
Colorado State.
Good grief, Rudy.
He just threw his pen into the air, and the video couldn't even see.
Where
him.
did Dexter McCluster play college ball?
Ole Miss. Easy.
I thought I got him on that.
D'Anthony Thomas?
Yeah.
Oregon.
Yeah. Where did Dwayne Bowe play college football?
LSU.
Where did Matt Castle play college football?
USC.
Eddie Kennison.
Oof.
Ooh. I don't know if I know this one.
I don't know
That's
that
a
I
good
do
one.
either. It's a little bit of an oddball. It is, right?
Yeah.
A little off topic. Charlie Morton was Michigan State, I think.
That's
right?
not who I asked
I
about.
know, but he was there.
unfortunately.
He was there with Eddie Kinnison, so I'm just curious.
Oh, not at what? No, not a. We've named the college that Eddie Kennison played for. I don't think I knew this though.
Was it
USC.
Georgia?
That was LSU again.
LSU.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
Pull Charlie Morton.
Clyde
Was I right
Edwards-Helaire
about him?
played at LSU.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was pretty good in a gap power run scheme.
He was a
Yeah.
wide receiver at LSU. Is what I hear.
Unfortunately, Jordan, we are gonna have to take a break. So that segue was absolutely wasted. Pearls before swine. That segue of something that it would have been great to talk to you about some, and instead we got caught playing the Rudy knows where everyone went to college.
Most, not everyone, but most.
If you ever need to like fill airtime and like you're like I can't
Literally
stretch this,
always.
just if you're ever like I really don't know how I'm gonna stretch this, just invite me to come chat, and you will magically be able to fill as long of a time slot as you need.
Shh! Don't give it away, man. Radio gets a lot easier when you have 3 people doing it
Yeah.
because there's always that chance that somebody's just going to be the motor for that segment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the magic right there.
There's just something about this show. People keep dying.
Well,
It's strange.
and then you throw in the element of wanting to keep me like silenced, and,
Curse of
and you're
AS.
perfect.
Mason Rudolph.
Oklahoma State.
That was rough.
That was easy.
Deontay Johnson.
Oh, Deontay. At first, I was like D'Anthony Johnson.
I'm just going
Deontay
down
Johnson.
Steelers.
Deontay Johnson was Oregon State, maybe. No. Where did Deontay? I don't know.
Where did
Toledo?
Minka Fitzpatrick?
Was he
play?
Toledo? Was Deontay Johnson Toledo, or was he Tulane?
Toledo.
Yeah.
You got
oh my
there.
goodness.
You got there.
Marcus Whedon was the Pittsburgh receiver who went to Oregon State. There's a name from back in the day.
Ray McLeod.
Oh man. I see. He's confusing because when I hear his name, I always think Ray Armstrong who played at Miami, but that's not him. I don't know.
Stalling.
I don't think I know where Ray McLeod
The
went
Chiefs
to.
have a wide receiver who went to this school.
Florida,
Nope.
Oof.
Alabama.
I did a rude thing
Georgia.
there. No.
Where'd Garrick Dieter go?
South
to college?
Alabama.
Where'd Garrick Dieter go to college?
Alabama and Bowling Green.
Ooh, Bowling
He knew them
Green.
both.
That's a good one.
Ray McLeod went to Clemson.
Clemson.
Oh, Cornell
Okay. I
Powell.
don't think I knew that.
He tweeted today that he is ready.
Cornell Powell did?
Yeah,
You think he's ready?
maybe.
Let's take a break.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sport.
816-412-6299.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
Like, let's part that kimono a little bit. I know how much you love that phrase.
With Joshua Brisco.
Let's part the kimono. Let's give you a peek behind the curtain. Hey, come see some sausage being made.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Jordan Foote is learning about how the sausage is made.
A foot of sausage, some would say.
Ooh, a foot-long sausage. That's this segment.
There's actually one of those in our fridge right now.
Is there really?
Well, yeah, in the break room fridge.
Well, Jordan was just asking what he was going to have for dinner. Now the answer is known. To really be a member of Sports Radio 810, you need to steal food out of the fridge.
It's been there for like a week and a half at least. I don't think it's stealing at this point.
Cured meat and no one's claimed it. It's in the public domain now.
It's about to get thrown away, so anybody can take it.
Yeah. I've said probably 3 times this week, once every day, the phrase, I'm a team player, but I'm not that much of a team player, and I think that might fit into the not eating a foot-long sausage out of the fridge.
That mantra should be on a throw pillow and will take you far.
Yeah.
That's a good... You have to be a team. This is just in general. You've got to.
But at a certain point, no.
But you can't only play for the team, you know?
Yeah.
Eventually you gotta get yourself those fantasy stats.
Yeah. Or like NIL deal or something like that. I don't know.
I think that's a good mindset.
Yeah.
I think Jordan is smarter than both of us.
No.
Which is, again,
well, where do you think I got it from?
Getting old. Not from me.
My brain hasn't worked right in a while.
Yeah.
Mine never started working right, so.
I'm sorry. I'm just sort of staring into the void on this level that is reminding me that Jordan is significantly, like, he is a different clickable age range. When you ask kind of like an online survey, are you, whatever, 13 to 17, 18 to 25, 25 to 30. Jordan and I click a different bubble, and he's coming for just kind of
your job,
my whole deal. I think
I've never thought about that. I always think so when people say, aren't you and Josh close to the same age? I'm like, yeah, I'll be 23, and he just turned 29 or whatever, 27. So I'm like, really, when you think about it, that's like 4.5 years. It's not that big of a deal. But when you break it down into the bubble thing and the things you miss, that's like
Josh grew up on VeggieTales. To you, VeggieTales are just like eating your vegetables.
Yeah. So
it's a massive difference.
That's like the '90s kids, and I don't claim to be one of those kids because I was born in '99. Who claim they're born in like '98? Like, I'm a '90s baby. I'm like, you're not a '90s baby. You were a '90s baby. You were not a '90s kid just because you were born in '99.
It's what you grew up in.
It's what you grew up in. And like, I was talking to Lebo this morning. I watched Leave It to Beaver at 7 and 7:30. So there's some older thing.
This morning
today.
Why?
Because it's on MeTV and I had my antenna set up and I was writing an article.
What?
He's got an antenna, man. We're back.
I have an antenna.
We're younger again.
Yeah.
And I watched 2 episodes of Leave It to Beaver, or really 1 and a third. I kind of muted and tuned out. So Beaver, do you want me to break? Have you seen Leave It to Beaver, Josh?
Not since my grandparents' television had it on in the background.
It's my favorite show ever.
Okay, yeah.
That and Full House.
Hold on one second. You're listening to Sports Radio 810 WHB Kansas City. That's a legal ID. Go ahead. I just needed to do that.
Yeah. So that and Full House are my top 2, and obviously it's a tough time to talk about Full House.
Right,
so.
And everyone on Leave It to Beaver is definitely dead.
Had to ask why, and I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leave It to Beaver's been dead for a minute.
They're all Yeah.
So this is a tough go.
Yeah. But yeah, Beaver's a good show, man.
Now tell me about.
Would you say you love that beaver?
Tell me about your affinity for the beaver.
I grew up, and my parents would always watch these and I thought they were Andy Griffith show, like Little House on the Prairie, Beaver, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, all that stuff, and I hated MASH. I hated Bonanza. I hated Gunsmoke. I hated Little House on the Prairie. I thought Andy Griffith was all right.
I've watched a lot of Andy Griffith.
And Beaver, I don't know if it was Eddie Haskell being mischievous or Wally being a dork.
Mischievous Beaver.
Or Beaver being a dork, or Ward secretly wanting to choke his kids out, but he can't do it because he's on TV and he's supposed to be a good dad. I don't know what it was, but I always thought Beaver was a cool show. So now when Lebo told me it's on MeTV every morning, so that makes me think Lebo watches his fair share of Leave It to Beaver. It's on Peacock as well. I don't subscribe to Peacock. I wouldn't pay for that. So
you wouldn't watch Beaver on Peacock?
If it was paid for by somebody else, I would watch Beaver on Peacock.
I love that.
I have Peacock. I'll let you watch the Beaver on my Peacock.
I love that you and Lebo are little Beaver buddies.
Yeah, Beaver buds. TM. The trademark comes after that.
Leave It to Beaver stopped airing 21,391 days ago. Leave It to Beaver.
So what year was that?
Leave It to Beaver, I believe, if I've got all my dates right here, Leave It to Beaver stopped airing before my mother was born.
And it's my favorite show ever.
So old.
So what year did it stop airing?
Leave It to Beaver on Mystery Science Theater 3000, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh.
It stopped airing in 1963.
That was before my parents were born too.
Yeah.
Depending on the exact date, within a year after my dad was born.
My parents were born in 65 and 66. So
even his parents are younger than our parents, Rudy.
Crazy concept. But I don't know how to feel about that. I knew it stopped airing in I thought it stopped airing in the late 50s. So honestly, I feel a little bit better.
I wonder if that. Yeah, I wonder what that was counting. I pulled that off Wikipedia.
Beaver wasn't in color. Andy Griffith later on had a couple color episodes. Beaver did not, to my knowledge, have any color episodes. I think.
I really love what this segment's done for Rudy, because Rudy is loving this segment. This is maybe the hardest I've seen Rudy laugh at a segment in a while.
I didn't know he was laughing until I looked over and saw him about to fall out of his chair.
I love when you can hear whoever's on the other side of the glass. I love when you can hear their laugh through the glass
and your headphones.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a few members of the recurring cast here. Buddy Joe Hooker.
Love Buddy. A hooker and a beaver. What more did you want?
Frank Bank. Sorry for stepping on that one, Rudy.
Barbara Billingsley, Hugh Beaumont, Tony Dow, and Jerry Mathers as the beaver.
So Beaver was the young child, right?
Jerry Mathers.
Yeah, he was a little beaver.
So small beaver was Jerry Matthews. He is still with us.
Hey!
Whoa! How old is he?
73. He's got some time left. That beaver's still kicking.
And you said he was dead.
Yeah.
Is Wally still with us? Wally was about 8 years older than the beaver, I want to say.
Wally.
Maybe a little bit less.
Tony Dow.
Yeah. I don't think he's with
76
us.
Still
with
us!
He was only 3 years older than the beaver?
It looks like it.
No freaking shot.
He's an American film producer, director, sculptor, and television actor. He is best known for his role in the television sitcom Leave It to Beaver.
Now Ward and the mom are both.
Just so you know, Jordan, frequently people don't play their age on television.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So.
Tobey Maguire was 35 when he did Spider-Man, playing a 16-year-old.
Hugh
That's
Beaumont.
exaggeration, but
Hugh Beaumont's got to be done.
Yeah, that's the way of putting it. He died in Munich, Germany in 1982. Do you know where he was born?
Munich, Germany.
Hugh Beaumont, who apparently played...
Give us a hint.
Not far.
USC.
Berlin.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Hey!
Not far from here.
No.
Eugene Hugh Beaumont was born on February 16th, 1909 in Lawrence, Kansas.
Wow.
Good for him.
See, this was a good segment. We needed this. Well, maybe you didn't need. I needed this.
Barbara Billingsley made it to 94.
Wow.
LSU.
Actually, we were looking. She was born in L.A.
She may have been born in LA, but she went to LSU.
Did
LSU's
she really?
Nationwide. No, they're recruiting all over the place.
She played slot corner. You got to be scrappy and quick. You know?
Yeah.
It's the honey badger and the beaver.
That'd be a cool crossover. That like if the Chiefs tweeted that, I would be the only person who understood that.
There's a Venn diagram there.
Yes.
Of Chiefs fans on Twitter and Leave It to Beaver viewers, and you, Jordan Foote, are the one pixel of overlap. And it makes me very happy that that's where Sports Radio 810 has gone, to really make sure we're connecting with the younger generation. You know, is that we're gonna go get the guy that sits on his rocking chair next to Todd Lebo every morning to watch. Smokes a cigar at 7 a.m. every morning and watches Leave It to Beaver reruns.
Yeah. I'm just built different. What can I say? I'm just hashtag built different, sneeze emoji, snake emoji, thumb down, built different. I tried to make a TikTok today. I couldn't figure it out.
We got another Sterling on their hands.
Oh no, we gotta.
I'm the social digital.
We gotta cut his mic before our bosses hear this. You are hired to know how to make a TikTok.
No, that was the one thing.
Yeah, when's the Sports Radio 810 TikTok coming?
No. We discussed this before, and we all agreed that yes, we have similar TikTok.
For Chiefs Steelers, by the way, it's a TikTok Super Bowl. Jackson Mahomes versus the Steelers receivers. Are you kidding me?
I think I made one, and it might be in my drafts, but I don't know.
Oh man. Okay. Well, good news is I feel younger. Rudy, you feel younger? All right, that's your new Beaver boy right there, Jordan Foote. You can follow him on Twitter at Footnoted. You can read all of his work and all the places he tweets about from there. But he's also
Little Beaver boy.
He's also the new Lil Beaver boy here at Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jordan, thank you for sticking around to spend this hour with us. Hour and 10 minutes with us in studio.
We talked Chiefs for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, they were,
No, it was great, but we talked Chiefs for about 5 minutes.
Welcome in, Jordan.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
So what are
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
The first commandment of Almost Entirely Sports is, thou shalt abandon all pre-planned material in favor of the best possible radio show.
It's going to be a big tablet if this is the first one.
Well, we're going to edit it down later. The second commandment is, thou shalt respect the nonsense. The third commandment, I think, is, thou shalt talk Chiefs when there's any possible reason to.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Thanks again to Jordan Foote. I almost said of Arrowhead Report. He's still doing Arrowhead Report stuff, but also here of Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thanks to Jordan for joining us for an hour and then some as we unnecessarily killed off members of the cast of Leave It to Beaver. Human Torch on Twitch says that I owe a $50 fine for each of those
They'll be
wrongful deaths. Oh, I hope so. I hope this isn't a situation where they die like
their
tomorrow.
Residuals are probably still cashing pretty good at this point, I'd imagine.
I wonder. That long ago, I wonder how the royalties hit.
My dad's still watching them on TV.
Is there any chance Jordan is your dad?
Well, my dad watches my dad watches Leave It to Beaver, but that would mean Jordan is. My dad watches the Andy Griffith Show.
Okay. I thought that was Davy Crockett. Is that not the Davy Crockett song?
No, that's the Andy Griffith theme song.
Okay, well, we don't. Jordan's not here, so I don't want to.
I've heard that those opening whistles like 1,000 times in my life, and then usually that's where it stops because then I walk away. I'm like, nope, I'm good. Don't need to watch this. Okay.
What's the one with the
yes, I did intentionally answer your question that you said.
I think you did say something over the air.
I did. I
wasn't sure.
I did that on purpose.
Okay, very good. What's the one with the talking horse? It's like a horse that can speak the English language.
Knight Rider.
I can't remember. Anyway, did you see who the Broncos are interviewing? That was a joke. Let's talk about.
I get it.
It was a John Elway joke.
Knight Rider was a talking car.
It's actually
David Hasselhoff.
Ghost Rider, actually.
Yeah, I think it was Knight Rider.
It was Ghost Rider.
Was it Ghost Rider?
Headlights on fire. The horse's headlights on fire. And Nick Cage rides it around.
This reminds me. I did not read it, but there was an article basically just about Nicolas Cage on how he may have had like the best 2021. And just like,
have you seen the trailer for the new movie?
Wait, which one?
The one where he plays Nick Cage with the super fan played by the guy.
This article literally had nothing to do about that movie because it was talking about the movie where he played a man who literally went John Wick over his truffle pig.
That's called Pig.
And then the other one where he literally does not have like a single line in the movie where he's basically just playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes. Also that. I haven't seen any of those.
I haven't either.
I gotta see Pig.
Nicolas Cage nobody has made better trailers in the last year than Nicolas Cage. I don't know if the movies are good. The trailers deserve awards.
I've literally said that Pig, the trailer, is the best movie I'd seen in a year. Don't do it right now. After the show,
okay.
Go watch, you and everyone else, go watch the trailer for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It's coming out in April. Here is the quick synopsis. Unfulfilled and facing financial ruin, actor Nicolas Cage accepts a $1 million offer to attend a wealthy fan's birthday party. Things take a wildly unexpected turn when a CIA operative recruits Cage for an unusual mission. Taking on the role of a lifetime, he soon finds himself channeling his most iconic and beloved characters to save himself and his loved ones. That is starring Nick Cage and, oh my goodness, I can see his freaking, Pedro Pascal.
This might be.
Trailer is awesome.
The best movie that was ever made. Here's the thing. I know we say this a lot with a lot of actors, and the reality is they make good decisions. This company, they know who to hire. They rarely miss. But I swear to God, if we don't get Nicolas Cage in the MCU, I will riot. He's got to be in the MCU.
Maybe just as Nicolas Cage.
I'm fine. It doesn't even matter. I just need him. We need Nicolas Cage back on the big screen. And I mean the big screen. I need Nicolas Cage smacking Tom Holland upside the head, calling him a dummy or something. I don't know. He actually is. I always forget he's in the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, he is. He's the noir Spider-Man.
Maybe we can get him in the Sony Spider-Verse at the very least. God, that would be amazing.
It really genuinely makes me sad that that we never got a Mission Impossible sort of style franchising
with National Treasure
of the National Treasure movies.
Honestly, because there was talk.
There's so many treasures to hunt for.
There was talk when Disney bought Fox about like rebooting that franchise, and maybe they still maybe that's still in discussion. But but especially now that Disney they have Disney money, like Disney does. That we need National Treasures 3 through 7. Like just start doing it.
So I've got good news, bad news.
Oh boy.
There is a apparent National Treasure reboot TV series coming to Disney Plus.
I've heard about the TV series, but we need also the movies. Which you can do both.
The TV series I think would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. But
here's the first headline that comes up with it. Here's who's replacing Nicolas Cage in the reboot.
See, I'm fine with a spin-off TV series, but don't replace Nicolas Cage. Leave it open so that you can do the movies with Nicolas Cage.
I'm not watching preseason games of National Treasure. What? I don't want to watch Shane Buechele on the TV series. I like to remind people this is a sports show just by the metaphors I pick.
For sure. It's smart.
It's sneaky.
It's smart.
It both excludes non-sports fans while not fulfilling the sports fans. No, I'm just kidding. There's somebody there. That Venn diagram is just for us.
If I want to watch Tyler Bray, I'd watch the Bears.
Exactly.
Is he still there? I don't know.
Who are currently, I don't think so, but they did just fire Matt Nagy to interview Doug Peterson, and that's awesome to me.
It's hit me.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Bandits quarterback Tyler frickin' Bray.
It's perfect.
It's all come back.
It's perfect.
We've finally figured it out from last week. It's all come back. What is he doing?
It says this is a free agent. It says free agent. So he is not on a roster right now.
Definitely wants to still play.
Probably still wants to play. Has a cannon.
Oh, yeah. Tyler Bray was made for the USFL 2.0.
Seems kind of like he should have had a more fulfilling career than he did.
Yeah. Remember when he almost lost that game for Patrick Mahomes?
Yes. That's the highlight.
He almost blew Patrick Mahomes' first career start. But, flip side, he did allow Patrick Mahomes to get a come-from-behind game-winning victory. Thank you, Tyler Bray, for the first of many.
He deserved better than that to be his highlight.
He did. Probably did.
But now he can get a new highlight as a Tampa Bay Bandit playing quarterback for Todd Haley.
Heck yeah, he can.
Wow, that's awesome. The show has really flown by today.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
I think Chase Daniel might no, he's made too much money.
Yeah, I would love for it to be some older guy like that.
Chase Daniel does not want to play football.
Yeah.
He wants to be a backup quarterback playing football. Something tells me backup quarterback in the USFL 2.0 is not paying enough money.
Yeah, that seems fair.
But it'd be fun.
Do you want to just play the Ben Roethlisberger sound here just to see what it does for us? There's some audio I thought we could play, and we could take a break and come back and do a bunch of audio. But this one is important to me. It's definitely Ben Roethlisberger doing a thing, but for whatever reason, maybe it's the Todd Haley talk, maybe it was the Tyler Bray thing. This feels like not as big a non sequitur as it could be. This has been Roethlisberger earlier today.
We probably aren't supposed to be here. We're probably not a very good football team. We're out of 14 teams I think are in, we're probably number 14. We're a double-digit underdog in the playoffs. So let's just go play and have fun and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, we're probably 20-point underdogs, and we're going to the number one team that's, I know they're not the number one seed, but they're the number one team that's won the AFC the last 2 years. Arguably the best team in football. We don't have a chance.
I agree. I think that's a great clip. Yep, that's just
smart man.
Smart man. And this is going to happen this weekend. Nice of him to just put it out there.
Do we even need to play the game? Can't we all just maybe take the day off?
I think you take that to court and you say this is a forfeit, and we'd rather just go ahead and call it a forfeit. We all take the day off. Chiefs get a bye week. Steelers get to start working on their futures contracts.
Big Ben doesn't want to play football anymore. He's ready for the next stage of his life.
Yeah, he was retiring whenever he thought that the regular season was going to be the end of it. He didn't expect to play this extra game.
He's ready to be on stage next to Terry Bradshaw and Bill Cowher, just doing his thing.
Boy, that's going to happen for sure, isn't it?
We're going to see commercials about how you can win $100,000 of Big Ben's money.
Big Ben's money!
Straight from his wallet.
The promos, it's just going to become like, it's going to go from the NFL on CBS to the NFL on
Pittsburgh on CBS.
That's okay. That's not bad.
Not as good.
I'm going to try to get a wordplay. I appreciate you stalling, though, for me. NFL on Steel BS? Well, that works on a couple levels, actually.
Yeah.
Steeler BS.
Pretty good.
Pittsburgh, but that sound is now CBS. It would work better written out than phonetically.
Yeah.
PITT CBS erg. I think that would work. I do think that clip is kind of funny because it is like that is a quarterback who is retiring. He is saying that snippily and sarcastically and whatnot, probably, right?
I think there's a chance. Like,
he kind of means it.
I think it is like 75% like sarcasm.
Yeah.
And I also think there's kind of like a 25% like, like we're like this team is like because they just got destroyed by the Chiefs.
True.
Like
that wasn't week 2
weeks ago played the Chiefs. Like he like again like Big Ben's been in this league a long time. I think he knows like it's not that they do technically have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
He literally beat the Chiefs once without his team scoring a touchdown. Football's weird, man. But I also think Big Ben kind of believes what he's saying. Because I don't know how any human being could not kind of believe that. At least a little bit.
And either way, honestly, I think he's emboldened by the fact that this is definitely it.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter if he's serious or sarcastic. Can you imagine if Patrick Mahomes would have said that against the Bucs last year in the Super Bowl or whatever, you know?
The line's destroyed. We can't,
right.
you know, like we got nothing.
We're beat up, and they got Tom Brady, and, you know, we're underdogs. We're going to go in there and lose and get it over with.
They're healthy. It's a road game for us. We can't win this.
Even if he would have said it with a chuckle and then the media room laughing after, that clip would have been national. It would have been huge.
Multiple bad Twitter accounts that would have tweeted that out.
I mean, every bad Twitter account
trashed him.
Yes, there would have been the serious takes. There would have been the not as serious. But regardless, it would have been a cluster bleep.
Brady would never do this,
right? And Roethlisberger would never do that until now. I do not think the Chiefs are going to lose this game. I do not want the Chiefs to lose this game. These two things should be incredibly evident at this point. But if the consolation prize was that we had to have this miserable Big Ben retirement tour stretch on even longer, that last clip would have been the consolation prize. The silver lining to me is maybe he would just start saying some crazy bleep. I'm saying that out loud and realizing that that's been Aaron Rodgers' last season, and that I don't know that more information is always better. I'm beginning to second guess myself. Nope, I was right the first time. Well, thinking about it again, I was right.
JT makes a good point. Corey said it apparently on the program yesterday. I'm going to guess he said that on the zone. Don't believe Big Ben. Doesn't take no for an answer. It's true. He's tenacious. Really sticks to his guns. Fights till the end. He doesn't hear no bell ring.
He plays through the whistle. Is that what you're...
Yeah.
Sucks. By the way, if you want to get blackout drunk like Rudy on Four Loko, take a shot every time you see a tweet from a prominent account or see on television the phrase, regardless of what you think about him off the field, just this whole week. Every time you see that, take a shot because you'll deserve it. Like you'll need it then.
It's quite literally the worst. It's the worst.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
Like either don't bring it up or don't immediately diminish it. You know, take your pick, I guess. But to be like, I'm actually very high-minded because I'm remembering these things he was incredibly accused of several years back.
Sure, he's done some bad things, but he's grown as a person.
But what is he? But
and
look,
I know him very well.
He is still very hard to tackle. And I think that's important to the conversation, to the discourse.
When he wants something, he goes for it. And you got to admire that.
He served his time. He didn't. He did, well, but you guys have made a lot of jokes about this for a very long time. Yeah, and that's the same thing. That's all true. All right, well,
I'm interested to see what he looks like 2 years after retirement.
Football. Wow. Okay, hold on. No, we're not taking a break yet because we all saw Andrew Luck, right? We all saw Andrew Luck.
Wait, we did?
Yes.
I didn't see this.
Google it.
Oh God.
It was national championship. I think it was pregame. I wasn't watching it live at that time. But by the way, actually watching the national championship game. We don't have that much time tonight.
What happened?
Okay, so Rudy has seen Andrew Luck. He is very skinny.
I think he might be ready for a comeback. I think he might be coming back.
I don't think that he would. What we have learned, I'm stealing this from somewhere else. I think they might have said this in Levitard. But what we learned from that is that Andrew Luck is never making a comeback.
Yeah, all the storylines of hey, maybe Andrew Luck wants to come back. Maybe you reach out to him.
One TV appearance would have ended that.
We all knew we were going to get that for at least through 2, 3, 4 years. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Hey, to a degree, Drew Brees was asked to come back. Eric Weddle is playing football again.
Eric Weddle is back, and he plays safety.
Brett Favre for a second. There was talk of Brett Favre with the Saints.
Right.
So we knew we were going to get Andrew Luck for a while. That's done. Andrew, that will never get brought up ever again, except for as a joke about how Andrew Luck is clearly never playing football again because look at the man. Also, nice stash, Andrew.
So he's got a mustache with some sort of unkempt beard stubble that you've grown to know from him.
Yeah.
He's very skinny, but in the way that I bet he just doesn't eat that much, and he's not working out anymore. He's also 6'4", so...
Yeah, it's not like Joe Thomas lost a lot of weight.
Right.
But he's still very much he looks like a strong man still,
right.
Right? He looks like... Joe Thomas is a 6'5", I don't know, probably 230, almost bodybuilder look. He looks like an NFL tight end almost now, right? Or a college tight end.
Andrew Luck
looks like... he looks like how I wish I looked, I would say.
He also looks like he's wearing the golf shirt with a couple of buttons underneath sport coat, which is a challenging. I'm gonna just tell everyone listening right now, if that's your look, I would just encourage you to find the new one. Golf shirt, couple buttons, fine. T-shirt and suit jacket, fine. Sport coat. I would not say polo, and I wore a polo and a suit jacket to Beards' wedding, so maybe I should shut the hell up a little.
Yeah.
But he's got the mustache, dad attire, and is pretty skinny, and he looks like a man that has not picked up a dumbbell or been hit since the day he retired, and also like a man who is cool with that decision.
He looks very happy, and he looks like just your very basic white suburban dad.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's having the time of his life. That is the smile of a man who is really happy with the decisions he has made in life. You know what, Andrew? I'm happy for you.
I just want Andrew Luck to be happy.
I just want Andrew Luck to be happy.
I'm seeing a different angle on him now where he looks a little bit less skinny. He has a sneaky long neck.
He does.
He always had the beard, the fluff of the beard, I think, added.
And when he was a little thicker. He never had a fat neck, but you're a little thicker, right? You got a more scruffy beard that hides the neck. He's got a long neck.
I saw someone on Twitter, just a rando, but somebody on Twitter was like, is there any chance that he's battling an addiction? He's not that skinny. He just looks like he's not working out.
I'm looking at a quote of him, of what he said.
At a football player level?
Before the national championship game, and he says, I'm in pain. I'm still in pain. It's been 4 years of this pain. Yeah, Andrew Luck's never playing football game, guys. He's done. And I kind of hope he stops feeling pain.
Yeah. Because
it's probably less pain, I imagine, because he's not getting hit, once a week.
But that doesn't just go away. Yeah. The lasting pain of that doesn't just go away.
But it also makes sense why he retired so early. Because it's been years now, and he's still feeling pain. Man, Indianapolis did him dirty.
That's true. And also, the sport of football
does a lot of people dirty.
Takes a toll. Yeah. But it seems like Andrew Luck is doing pretty good.
Not bad.
I feel like we are. You know what I will say? I hope that we're a couple years away from like Andrew Luck like starting a cannabis brand, or even like
Andrew Luck with the CBD program.
Pretty good.
Hey Andrew, I know a great one.
We got one right here for you, Andrew.
We got some former NFL players involved with it. You want to be another one?
You can come co-host the post-game show with me if you want. I will still be the first name, of course.
Of course.
Because I was here. I'm kind of the quarterback of the
you're
show.
still sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
He'll sit in that chair.
We should get him a better chair if he's already
I mean,
in pain.
here's the thing. Andrew Luck, if he gets back in game shape, he could play tight end. He was big enough to play tight end.
Where's Urban Meyer at right now?
Did you see some of those college highlights of him trucking people? Dude, you need to, in all seriousness, you in the break, look up just like Andrew Luck college, like stiff arm. The things he did to some USC and Oregon players, he killed people on the football field in a legal way. It was impressive.
I also feel like, that is an excellent one.
He did some things in college besides just throwing a football that just made you go, holy crap. Like, he would have been the number one pick after his junior year and decided to go back to college, which was just like stupid at the time. Worked out because after a senior year of college, he was still the number one overall pick and he got that degree from Stanford. So it worked out great. But like he really was incredible.
I'd really like for him to do a podcast. I know we don't necessarily need more podcasts as a universe right now, but I would like to I want to know what his episodes would be about.
His book of the month.
Yeah.
His book club.
He had a book club, right?
He did.
In the flip phone?
Yeah, Andrew Luck book club. He might still have the book club. Honestly, I don't know.
I am curious about Andrew Luck in a way that you can't be about someone who has a Twitter, right? Like, he is a man of mystery. And also would be the second best quarterback if he decided to go ahead and play in Chiefs Steelers this weekend.
Yeah.
By a lot. By a
Chad Henne. Chad Henne would give him a run for his money, I think.
I think you're right. Andrew Luck out of practice. All right.
Andrew Luck right now. Skinny Andrew Luck, no beard, got the stash.
Mustachioed Andrew Luck right now would move the line in the Steelers' favor if he was on a plane to Pittsburgh at this moment.
Yes.
We'll try to talk more about that game whenever we come back.
Did you know you can listen to Almost Entirely Sports anywhere, anytime? Well, you can. Just search for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
Westlake Commercial, a division of Westlake Ace Hardware, is your one-stop shop for bulk quantities of ice melt. Westlake Commercial offers organic and non-chloride solutions, pallet quantities, commercial-grade materials, and packaging, plus job site delivery is available. Our dedicated account representatives provide personalized service for all your business needs, so you can focus on what's important, running your business smoothly. To learn more, visit westlakehardware.com and click commercial at the top, or visit your nearest store today.
This is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
As the countdown to kickoff of the NFL playoffs draws near, keep up on all the latest right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll bring you wall-to-wall coverage as the Chiefs get set to host the Pittsburgh Steelers. Countdown to kickoff on Sports Radio 810 WHB is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction, Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, Premier Volvo Cars of Overland Park and Premier Mazda of Kansas City, and UnlimitedRV.com.
This is National Sports Handicapping Champion Lee Sterling of ParamountSports.com. You can catch me each week on Crunch Time and during the Zone on Fridays at 10:45 in the morning. Plus, every Sunday morning during Chiefs Tailgate to get you ready for the NFL action. I'll give you my thoughts and predictions and break down all the upcoming games in college football and the NFL. Also let you know about the weekly specials at ParamountSports.com. I want to wish you and your families a happy and healthy holiday.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means the prescription medication to treat ED is super affordable at 4hims.com. And now get your first online doctor's visit free at 4hims.com. That's right. Zero copay, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. That's really good news. To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/joy.
Sports Radio 810 WHB is your home for Super Wild Card Weekend. Saturday, it's an NFL playoff doubleheader starting at 3:30 with the Raiders and Bengals, followed by the Patriots and Bills. At midnight, our Chiefs Steelers pregame begins. Then listen to the Eagles and Buccaneers at noon, followed by the 49ers and Cowboys. And after the Chiefs and Steelers, no one brings you better coverage of the big game than your hometown radio station. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Family Leisure's After Christmas clearance sale is here. Family Leisure has the best prices of the year on closeout, scratch and dent, and overstock products, and bonus deals for you if you mention 810. Pool tables, foosball, air hockey, bars and bar stools reduced by up to 70%. Hot tubs, tanning beds, and home theater seating at their best prices. Family Leisure has the best products, best selection, and best prices guaranteed. Take advantage of the special 810 deals while they last. Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
Awesome!
You've trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Family Leisure's After Christmas clearance sale is here. Family Leisure has the best prices of the year on closeout, scratch and dent, and overstock products, and bonus deals for you if you mention 810. Pool tables, foosball, air hockey, bars and bar stools reduced by up to 70%. Hot tubs, tanning beds, and home theater seating at their best prices. Family Leisure has the best products, best selection, and best prices guaranteed. Take advantage of the special 810 deals while they last. Family Leisure, K10 and Ridgeview in Olathe.
Awesome!
Your Kansas City Acura dealers are partnering with quarterback sensation Patrick Mahomes in support of his charity, 15 and the Mahomies, a foundation dedicated to improving the lives of children by focusing on health, wellness, and providing resources for communities in need. Test drive any Acura at J. Wolf Acura and J. Wolf Acura of Overland Park, and they'll make a donation on your behalf. Plus, you'll be entered for a chance to win a Patrick Mahomes jersey. Shop, save, and make a difference at your Kansas City Acura dealers.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
I think today was not only a weird show, it was also at least okay.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Let's get one more segment of that energy here on tonight's Almost Entirely Sports. Back tomorrow, back Friday as well. Full slate of guests planned for. We got a few confirms. One more slot to fill. We'll see what we end up with tomorrow. But lots of Chiefs and Steelers. I told you at the beginning of the show that Wednesday is kind of a weird one in terms of what direction you're looking in. And we just sort of looked at the sky and let it rain on us and then drown like turkeys. You think that's a real thing they do?
Sure.
That feels like an urban myth.
It's also kind of like a weird thing for us because we've had enough days since we've been on the radio that there's a lot of things that are like that you kind of want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't have show Saturday and Sunday. There was a Chiefs post game. Didn't have a show Monday or Tuesday. A lot of things have happened. You know, a lot of energy to shoot out into the world.
According to Cincinnati.com, that's a myth.
I will only believe it's a myth once Mythbusters prove it's a myth.
It's just like forcing a bunch of turkeys to look up at rain.
I only believe when it comes to the whole myth stuff, if the Mythbusters didn't do it, I don't believe in this propaganda. I'm a Mythbuster only kind of guy.
If it is a myth, it must be busted. It cannot be broken or disproven or solved. It must be busted. It says turkeys left outside in the rain have been known to look skyward and drown. That's the myth. The fact, this is false. Baby turkeys can drown in rain, which makes sense. It sucks. Can turkeys survive in the rain? Do turkeys kill themselves in the rain?
Absolutely. I grew up in the country. I know these things.
You are almost our national bird. Is that even true, do you think?
Actually, maybe.
No, I mean, that's definitely a myth because your favorite president was a big turkey fan. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, Benjamin.
My dad can do a cool trick where he can like hoot like an owl. and then if there are turkeys nearby, make all the turkeys go off.
Really?
Gobble. Yeah.
Wow.
Dad does a very good owl impression.
This is unbelievable. The story about Benjamin Franklin wanting the national bird to be a turkey is just a myth. This false story began as a result of a letter Franklin wrote to his daughter, criticizing the original eagle design for the Great Seal, saying that it looked more like a turkey on the initial seal.
I get it.
So, I gotta tell you, my BS sniffer, like I at least think to Google now most of the time, with as many times as we found the origins of idioms and all of that.
Google did in fact prove Benjamin Franklin, greatest president.
100th president, which is why he's on the $100 bill. Most people don't know that.
Yep.
But George Washington was first.
Yep.
Ben Franklin.
Lincoln was 5th.
Was one. Yep. Alexander Hamilton was 10th.
Yep. Samuel Jackson was 20th.
That's right. And no one knows who was 50th.
No, this doesn't count anymore. That's not really. It's not really in circulation.
Exactly.
Anymore,
like no one.
50th president isn't really a real thing anymore.
That's right.
Shouts to Nicolas Cage.
The letter, Franklin wrote that the, quote, bald eagle is a bird of bad moral character. He does not get his living honestly. He is too lazy to fish for himself. Is this true?
Say it again.
Ben Franklin thought that the turkey was more respectable than an eagle. But someone has the answer on the phones. I don't know. He defended the honor of the turkey, but he did not propose it becoming one of America's most important symbols. There you go. Boy, if someone called in to tell us a turkey fact, Rudy just looks very... All right, I mean, pass it along, man. I don't think that we know. I don't think that we have granted anyone with the 50. I don't think the 50 has been granted to anyone. Thank you, George. Yeah, I don't... He said that you grant the 50. Yeah, none of that makes any sense to me. I don't know. George must be wrong, I guess. I'm guessing that George just doesn't really know what he's talking about. I don't know. 913-381-810-810, your favorite bird. 913-381-810-810 with what you think the national bird of America should be. We'll take your calls next hour. Oh. That's dumb. Well, now Rudy's talking with George, and I don't think I can throw the audio. JT says, fun fact, Big Ben, this is on Twitch, Big Ben hasn't been to the Super Bowl since he was 26. He's 39 now. That is insane. God, I'm so old. Ben Roethlisberger was a year younger than me when he went to the Super Bowl last. Is that right? Oh, we're dying. We're dying, Rudy.
George has reminded me that you promised him.
Oh, no.
And I assume all the wonderful listeners, you would marry girlfriend Renee on air.
That doesn't seem like a thing that I would have said.
That's what George said. And honestly, I think I remember this. Like, it all vaguely sounds familiar. It also sounds like something you would 100% say.
This might be one of those sort of, those buyout clauses and head coaching contracts.
Yeah.
This
might be expensive, though.
This might be one where I'm going to have to see if I can buy out. George was the first one to call me on it. So I don't know if it's like a class action lawsuit where I have to pay every listener like $3 or whatever.
Just pay me, that's fine.
Because of a data breach. Or Red Bull or something doesn't actually give you wings. I think those are both class action lawsuits.
Yes, Red Bull, the wings thing actually was a lawsuit.
Yeah. I think I got $3 from a data breach at some point.
Think about.
Yeah, that's.
I found like a check the other day from like an Apple iHome thing. It was for like $40 that I forgot to ever. It was like, yeah, you should deposit it by blank date, otherwise, the check's not valid. That was like 2 years ago. So I was
Did
like,
you try?
No, I was just like, what, I'm just gonna hold on to this bad boy.
You got to try to do a little deposit, a little mobile deposit, see if it clears. Just find out.
I don't want to explain to my bank about a fraudulent check because I'm also not 100% sold that this check is like a legit check.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, give it to me.
Could do that.
I'll deposit it to my account and let you know how it goes. I will keep the money. Is it $40? That's worth a fraud charge.
Ice Pyro says, fun fact, kids in Alaska have to run in packs in order to not be attacked by bald eagles.
I don't even know how to Google that one.
I want to believe it, though.
I don't know how to check on that. I think that's just going to be me saying I tend to trust Iced Pyro.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you got to take things for yourself. And that's up to you now, listener.
We're just out here giving you information. You decide what's true or not.
Yeah, that's a responsible way of handling the passing of information.
It is not our job to make sure you have all the facts, just some of the facts.
Welcome to Almost Entirely Sports. I'm Joshua Brisco here with Mark Zuckerberg.
I was going to do my best Mark Zuckerberg impression, but I'm not very good at doing robots.
That was pretty good. I didn't know what you were gonna do there, but that one tickled my funny cortex. My funny bone.
Chaotic Warrior says he remembers something about you marrying Renee on air. So
come on.
I'm not saying it has to be. You can't also do I
haven't even gotten tased yet.
You can't also do a wedding, but I feel like there has to be some sort of ceremony on air. Can your dad legally marry you guys?
Probably. I got a lot
could your dad call in? You and Renee do a little ceremony.
With ministry certification or whatever. We could figure it out.
True.
Maybe they'll let me do it.
Maybe the president of MNU. I know he was a big fan.
Yeah, he and I got along super duper well, and I think he's just doing a really great job being a professional.
Is he still the president?
He sure is.
Hey, man, there are some jobs that once you get are almost impossible to lose.
Yeah.
President of a university is one of those jobs.
Yeah, you can run a chaplain out of town and not get in trouble for it. That's a joke and a true story that absolutely laid out, I don't know, one person, maybe. If someone who was in the same graduating class as me at MNU went, oh, yeah, he did do that. Allegedly. I don't know. There's some really good reporting on it that from a student newspaper that is now defunct. I'm not bitter about it.
I heard it was a lot of fake news.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a funny time to be working for a student newspaper. But look, chaplains, beloved chaplains lie all the time. I was gonna say I'm gonna get in trouble, but what can they do? Stop sending me letters for fundraising requests?
Dear God, no.
Yeah, oh dear.
Don't take that from me.
Oh dear. No, I have I love the grand majority of my time at MNU and met a lot of great people that I respect and think very highly of to this day. I also met him. It's fine.
So he started off.
I gotta deal with the fact that there is a non-zero chance that either he or a member of the board of trustees at Mid-American Nazarene is listening right now. There's a non-zero chance of that.
I just want to sum this all up.
I'm rough on my facts. It's been a minute. I've been out of practice with that.
We started the show off with a blood pact.
Oh man.
We ended up on MNU president.
And it wasn't all his fault. He just didn't.
He's just a pirate who didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think that might be right. Yeah, I sort of have this intense feeling of, am I going to get in trouble for this? But I don't
think so.
I don't think there's anything they can do to me. That makes sense that the show's almost over. Hey, man, we got one of those sound clips played.
Yeah, we did.
I got I had 7 in the Google Doc. You can't say you know what you can't say.
Tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. That's true. You know what you can't say about this show? We don't have enough to talk about. We did the preparation work. I told you that Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams were limited participants in practice today. It doesn't matter. The offense will look fine with whatever combination running backs have. Yeah. Andy Reid said that today, by the way. That's the clip I should have led the show with.
Running backs better, Josh.
Andy Reid was like, yeah, we've kind of gone by committee all year, but we'll just do it for the playoffs. It'll be fine. I was like, yeah, I know! Obviously! Why do I still care about this so deeply? You know what? I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, I don't know about the other clips. We'll play that audio tomorrow, unless I forget. Bye, Mom.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB. As the countdown to kickoff